T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What if I get to a place where I'm like, yo, I'm loving her intelligence. We vibe, we have a good time. But it's like 3 months into it, and she's like, okay, I'm coming through. You're gonna just hang out for a little bit. I ain't doing no makeup today. How conflicted would I be if after all that vibe and I see her face and I'm just like, I can't.
To me, that's friend zone.
You ever got somebody and you weren't their type? Somebody could say that they want you, but you not be what they wanted.
That's the biggest part of a successful relationship. Being accept each other as they are.
The more you accept them, the more they show you them. You can create yourself in a version of the person in your head that you become infatuated with.
Do you have any legitimate regrets as far as your choices of women?
Me and Mike have to have a conversation about my picker.
If you know that there's a person out there that's going to love you just for who you are to your own marrow, it alters the way you look at dating. It alters your picker.
I feel like I can put my partner on a pedestal.
I feel like you should.
I should feel unworthy at that altar. When the time comes for you to heal, are you willing to participate in your healing?
If your therapist doesn't have a therapist, fire them. This is 10 plus years of constantly facing myself.
They get to this place that we're starting to ask themselves, like, these things that I'm requiring, why does it need to be this way for me to be okay? Have that conversation with them.
That's why we have the podcast. So maybe this will help.
Maybe this will help. Yo. Listen, I just got a notification that for some reason I'm not live on Instagram right now, but it says that I'm live. So can you see me on Instagram? Go to my Instagram page. See if you can see me on there.
It says I'm live too, but we don't have zero view. We got 0 viewers on.
No, but I see you live. I said mine. I see maybe this will help is live.
Huh? Janae said you live.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Works for me.
Cool.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the Podcast, giving you that relationship talk you can relate to, the good, the bad, the alimony. We just gonna hop into it, man. To live and die in LA. It's the place to be. Hey. You gotta be here to know it.
That's right.
Mike.
Yes.
Come on, man. Let's talk about what was your highlight of the week before we get into this relationship stuff.
Highlight of the week for me. Highlight of the week for me actually was I can't turn it off. Highlight of the week for me was yesterday. Janae had a surprise bridal shower that she knew nothing about. I knew about it the whole time, so I felt it was nice for her to get pampered and showered with love and gifts and all this other stuff. So as she was out, I was at home. But you know, it's always a good feeling knowing that your partner is getting something that you feel they deserve. You know what I mean? So I feel
respect.
I feel like that was the highlight for me.
Respect. All right, man. Man. All right. The highlight for me, man, was you know, I'm an introvert. I pretty much stay to myself. And that's where I like to be. But guys, definitely stretching my social battery and my capacity to, man, to just engage more with people who just need me, right? Yeah. And so as I was thinking about that today, I was recognizing yesterday you hit me up and was like, yo, let's go volunteer somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because all the fires that are happening in LA, you know what I'm saying? It's our hometown and we just want to lend a hand, right? I recognize that, you know, my own MO is probably to pray and find a place to donate, ship, and move some stuff. But I'm like, it's cool when you got people around you that kind of help you evolve. You know what I'm saying? You definitely strike me as a hands-on person. Like, yeah, let's go get involved. You know what I'm saying? Let's touch down in the area. Let's go find a place. And we're alike, but we're so different in so many ways. Where I think it's a benefit to us to not get so stuck and complacent in how we are. And God's like, nah, this is a person I'm putting in your life to help you continue to grow in areas that you probably would not grow. You would not even press into that. I'm like, no, I'm good, Mike. You know, I'm like, damn, Mike, that's actually a good idea. We should go volunteer. Not only are you just saying, hey, you should go do this, let's go do this. And I think that also, just God continuing to show me, you know, like I went through this with Carrie, I went through this with Errol, where God's showing me the brother that I have. Right, I hadn't gone through that with you yet, and so I'm grateful as God is revealing the kind of brother that I have in you to say, like, okay, this is, if you choose to engage and chime in, this is how you can grow as a man. This is how you can grow as yourself and evolve as yourself. So, yeah, man, that was a highlight of my week, just seeing how my brother is helping me to be a better man in this generation.
Yeah. It's a good feeling when because like you said, it's so yin and yang with us, but it's also weird because we're so similar. I feel like the like, for instance, with you doing the self work with the journaling that you've been doing lately has inspired me to then do that. That's something that I probably wouldn't do on my own, but seeing the benefits, and as we talk about it through your journey, it's also inspired me to follow suit. You know what I mean? I feel like when you come to a point to where you drop the ego, you drop the macho bullshit, and you realize this is somebody that I can learn from, whether he's older, whether he's younger, whether he's from a different walk of life, whether they're male, female, you know, whatever the case may be. When you can drop that and just say, hey, this is legit somebody that I can learn from, I feel like that's growth in itself.
If you choose to drop it and tap into it, man, it's a lot there. So, man, for all that, I say, man, I'm grateful to have you as a brother. And, man, I'm ready to dive into this episode, man. As we sat down at 8 today, Mike was like, you got some fire tonight. I'm like, it's not so much the videos that we post, ladies and gentlemen. It's the conversation that me and Mike had that really make it beneficial for me. And so as you guys are listening in, I really want to just remind the audience this year in season 5 what you're seeing. And what you're seeing is not a fabricated agenda of content to try to portray something to get more followers or to push forward an agenda. This started off with the mastermind of Carrie.
Yeah.
Me and Carrie and me and Errol, Mike and Carrie used to have conversations just on the drive, out to lunch, in the garage, at the barbershop. And we thought, man, these little candid conversations where we're really trying to figure stuff out, you know what I'm saying, would be beautiful for people to be able to listen into. And so Carrie had the idea of starting a podcast where people weren't allowed to come on the podcast, but they can comment, because what you're seeing is like how men talk behind the scenes. Right. Vulnerably, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so we're giving you a glimpse of that. Of course, there's certain things that we choose not to share, but you're getting a glimpse into, like, man, you know, some of the things that men think about, struggle with, process through. You know what I'm saying to you? And so me and Mike were just talking about some of the, you know, the viewers and how they tap in, how they see the value of it, and how we're like, who are we going to bring on this year? Are we going to bring on any women guests this year? You know what I'm saying to you?
It may get a little different.
It's like, we'd have to check everybody's heart, though, you know, even the other guests we bring on. So, yeah, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Yeah.
Real quick, before we go, because I know sometimes when it gets later, some people tend to log off. So while we have a good amount of viewers, if you guys are, Donovan and I went out today to attempt to volunteer for different relief areas and aid areas throughout the city. The first one we went to, they said they weren't accepting any more like lightly used or used clothing. They said they were only accepting new only, and that they were capped out for volunteers. And then the second one we went to, line was like extremely long. So what I say that to say this: if you are looking to go volunteer so that you don't get discouraged and just throw in the towel, make sure you call first to see if they even need anything or any type of services for that day. Just make sure you call first and get some information before you just drive down there and you be on your third location about to say, you know what?
It's tough though, man. They explicitly said, leave the airways open, right? But it's like, if you're about to drive a long distance, please call. And me and Mike were talking about it. It's a beautiful situation. There's so many Los Angelinos are showing up at the aid of each other, right? We were talking about, when we may have a lot of beef in LA, but when we have a common enemy, we come together. Right. And so it's just been a beautiful situation. And as me and Mike were experiencing that, like now we're at capacity and we're only taking new clothes. I said, listen, I'm taking this to my dating arena. Like, listen, I'm only taking new clothes. I ain't taking slightly used no more. But it was interesting though, because it was looking at how when you have an abundance of something, you can start your standard change, or what you accept changes, right? And so we were talking about that while I was talking to myself in my head and a little bit to Mike about when it comes to dating and getting back into dating, or, wherever you may be, when you within yourself already possess a certain amount of peace, a certain amount of confidence and assurance, and it almost changes the standard by which, oh no, I'm cool on that. I don't really need that. Right. You know what I'm saying? From a person, they bring with it what they're bringing to them, or the energy they bring with them, or whatever they feel like their best asset is. Right. Of course, you can connect with somebody on a chemistry level, but what you feel like you need changes when you feel that what you feel like you need changes when you start to meet your own needs.
Damn. Yeah.
And then it opens you up to more enjoyment in a relationship or in a dating experience, because now you're just going after a little bit of what you want. Most of my needs, the needs that I can give me, I'm meeting my own needs, right? The needs that I can't give me, okay, cool, I'm gonna look for that for somebody else. But where I've seen people go astray, and myself included, is that when you're putting a need on somebody else that you're supposed to be giving you. I'm responsible for my own peace, right? I'm responsible for my own self-confidence. It's called self-confidence, self-esteem, right? But when you are looking for someone to play that role and to be that for you, I'm not saying they won't do it. I'm just saying that that's a weight. You got to realize that's a weight that some people may not be willing to carry or may not be able to carry.
I was gonna say, sometimes we want to carry that, but it's like sometimes it gets too weighty. It's too heavy. I can't even do it as much as I want to.
Yeah, man.
Or we try to, and then or that person that's trying to carry that weight, they try to hold on to it, and then they become resentful in the relationship because they feel unseen. They feel like they're getting taken advantage of, and other things like that. So it's always good, the stuff that you can create for yourself, the lifestyle, the mental space. If you can create that for yourself, it's always good to do that before you enter into a relationship, so you're not dependent on that other person to do it for you.
And it makes me question, like, people say, oh, well, she's my piece or he's my piece. I hear it. I'm just wondering, like, don't. I'm wondering to myself, like, let me not make that such a big thing that now it's like, if without them, I don't have peace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? I don't want to put a blanket statement out there for everybody. Like, nah, be your own. I know what works for me, but I'm just saying, like, let's be mindful what kind of capacity other people may have and what kind of responsibility that we may be projecting onto them that really belongs to us.
That's a fact.
Yeah, man. Well, we're gonna get into this podcast tonight. Allie, what's popping? Allie said only women allowed on the podcast is Jay or Pookie. Those are two names that actually came up. We were talking about when we invite women on the show.
Allie know what's good.
Oh man, yeah, for sure. Vicky, shout out to Carrie Durrell for starting this, and to both of you continuing it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Sonia, we did try littles. We definitely tried. And Mike said, God knows our heart. We ended up at Stevie's on Pico. Let me tell you, man, putting us in near a coma. That food was so good, bro. Mike didn't even know how to get home afterwards. This brother,
I had to turn on Waze. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing.
I was delirious when I got home. That Creole pasta was dumb, bro. Ah, man. All right. Well, let's do this, man. Let's get this show started. I feel like I don't know where anything is, but let's get the show started. Let's start here.
You are a 4 at best.
Guys aren't meant to see this many hot bitches.
Back in the olden days, they would see 200 baddies in their whole life. And now In their whole life. And now it's like they are desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have conversations with my guy friends where I need to check them, where I'm like, you need to check yourself. They'll be like, oh, well, her hair wasn't perfect, or she didn't have like veneers, so I just didn't. And I'm like, you are a 4 at best. Like, this is insane. You think that you have access. They're so delusional. They think that they can bag like these hot girls because there's so many hot girls on Instagram.
And then they do them dirty because you think you're going to get another batter, which it's like at one point we all start to even out, but also at the same time, it's like, this is my thing. I always say your resume is trash on paper and in real life.
Exactly.
Your resume is trash for you to be talking like this, sounding like this, and acting like you have so many options available to you.
No, it's crazy.
First of all, you can't look like that and have a trash resume and expect to bag a 10 every time. You're fun.
All right. I know we normally don't start the show that way, but we got a lot to cover tonight, man.
Wow.
There was a lot to unpack in that, and I think there's a good conversation starter. So where you at, Mike? Anything just off the rip?
Yeah. Do I think that there's so many good looking baddies, as they call them these days, that men just feel like they just have a plethora of options? So no, I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like society, social media has created this idea of what a baddie should be to us, and so I feel like a lot of guys fall for that.
There we go.
They kind of leave their roots of what they initially started liking. Oh, I like this type of chick, and now that it's pushed in people's faces every day on every platform and everything we do, now that's starting to change a little bit. But no, I don't feel like men just feel like there's so many. I got so many options. For me personally.
All right, so I want to go through the long route. I want to define baddie because there's some people who think they baddies, and
Are
maybe they. No, bro.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe you thought you were. According to the white lady that walked past us and commented on your smile today.
Mine alone, Mike.
She was so enamored.
Was it mine alone?
No, it was not. But still,
she walked by. She was like, "I didn't know black men teeth could be that white." That's what she said.
Wow.
Anyway, and Mike was like, "You too." That's it, Mike. I said, Mike, why you tell the woman you too, bro? Mike don't know how to.
I'm not practice, brother.
Mike don't know how to interact with compliments. Right? You too. You too, sister. Oh man. All right. So a baddie is a girl who is highly confident and can hold her own. A baddie remains confident and beautiful, whether in makeup, barefaced, tight clothes, or even in sweatpants. Being a baddie is a lifestyle and a mindset.
That's actually a really good definition. I like that a lot.
So are you a baddie? Threw it right back, bro.
I will not participate in that conversation.
Listen.
What do you feel about that definition though? Like,
I've never looked it up, so I'm wondering to myself when people say they're a baddie, because when I first saw the video, right, I'm thinking to myself like, men have never been exposed to this many baddies, right? She's saying like, they're seeing 200 in a lifetime versus 200 in a day, and I'm like, so what is it? Is it really a baddie by definition, or is this just someone who's really good at makeup? Is this someone who really knows how to select the right filter and really good at lighting? Or is this someone that is really just a really good actress? You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm looking at it from that standpoint, like, what are we really being exposed to as men that's making us feel like this so-called 7 in front of us is not good enough?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I feel like that definition that they gave for me, that would be my definition of a baddie. Somebody that could throw on some J's and some sweats, and then somebody that could throw on a dinner gown and then kill it too. Somebody that can wear makeup and look good, and not wear makeup and look just as good. You know what I mean? Hair down, hair up, don't matter.
Look at your friend. I'm about. G, did you hear the definition? She said, "For sure, that's me." For sure,
I can hear that voice too. That gingy voice.
You can hear the gingy voice. 100%. Don't do it. Don't mimic it. But officially she is. Officially she is, for sure.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. But it. So this is where I'm conflicted at, though, bro. I'm wondering if the use of enhancements, right? You know what I'm saying? To makeup, body contouring, you know, the Spanx or whatever they wear underneath. People, they use that to, you know, elevate their presentation.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, is a person discounted because of that? Because if you discount for any enhancements, you know, like in sports, right?
Yeah.
Creatine is an enhancement, right? It's not, you're not natural when it comes to sports or bodybuilding if you take any enhancements. And so are we in a place now to where as men we're disqualifying or marking a point against women who have a weave, fake eyelashes, tattooed eyebrows, wear makeup, you know what I'm saying? Or have to, like, are we discounting that? Do we see that as less desirable? And if so, nigga, why?
Yeah, that why is
because it's making me wonder, like, are you confident enough as a man to like what you like, even if society was like, oh man, that ain't really a baddie? Are you as a man willing to say, you know what, I believe that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and this is just what I like?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I feel like no, I feel like if a woman wants to add any kind of enhancements, I feel like as long as it's healthy, and as long as we're not getting into a realm, and we talked about this before on the show, as long as we're not getting into a realm of I'm doing this because I feel like it'll make me a better person, or I'm doing this because I feel like I'm not good enough. Because that esteem issue is a whole different thing that enhancements can't really fix. You need to go to like therapy.
Yeah, I think that there's
then I got a kind of issue with it. But if it's just because I always wanted a big butt and now I can get it, so I'm gonna get it. Cool, do what you do.
I think there's the actual, you know, by definition, there's the actual baddie, and then there's the baddie costume, right? Where you put on all the effects to make it appear that you have a certain level of confidence that you don't. You know what I'm saying to you?
That you don't. Yep.
And I think that's a struggle.
Eventually, as men, if we're paying attention, if we're not fooled by the costume, we're gonna be able to see right through that. Right? I mean, eventually your true colors of who you really are, the low self-esteem, the trust issues because of your low self-esteem, all that is going to eventually come out. So it's only a matter of time anyway.
Let me ask you a question. How important is it for you, for Jay, to be like a confident woman? Is that confidence part a big deal for you?
So what's crazy, initially, I would have said I'm confident enough for the both of us, but I feel like I am happy that I feel like her confidence is I'm not saying this at an all-time high, but she does have self-confidence. I mean, I feel like we all have things, including myself. We all have things that we feel like, oh, I need to work on this before I present it to the world type shit. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I think that Jay exudes that amount of confidence. And I feel like when we're together, it's times 10 for both of us. You know what I mean?
So how are you defining confidence then?
Just you know, self-worth, self-value. I know what I bring to the world, and I know, you know, just a sense of commanding respect and commanding all of the things that you know you deserve without having to say I command this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that terminology where guys and girls now talk about I'm an alpha male or I'm an alpha woman. Well, the thing about that is, if you're an alpha, you don't need to never tell nobody. The fact that you're saying it further lets me know that that's not what you are. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that amount that, and I feel like that's part of what drew me to her. It was just like, okay, like you got your shit going on, even if, you know what I mean, it's not where you want it to be. You're confident enough for me to feel like, okay, and for me to take notice.
Got you. So I looked up confidence, and it says a feeling of consciousness of one's powers or of reliance on one's circumstances. In essence, faith or belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way.
I co-sign that.
So I'm thinking that confidence is not just about who you believe you are, but also a subcategory of what you believe you'll do because of who you believe that you are. Mm-hmm. I'm confident in myself to go to this place, and even though I'm faced with temptation, stand on my morals. I'm confident to walk into a room where no one applauds for me and still know that I'm very capable of getting the job done. Like I'm thinking about it in that regard, like not just who I am, but what I will do. Is that?
No, I agree with that, and that sometimes can be tricky. Let's use our favorite gym analogies. When you were smaller, and then the first time you walked into Black Diamond, did you have the same amount of confidence when you walked in there?
Yeah.
But if you do, that shows what real confidence is, because it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if all these niggas in here look like 5-time decathlon gold medalists. You know, it don't matter.
Yeah, but that was continual.
Yeah. Huh? No, I'm just saying. I know when I come in here, I'm finna go to work, and it don't matter.
I feel like that's continual brainwashing that my mom did, right? You know what I'm saying? She instilled within me a self-assurance, which resulted in a self-confidence that fueled my self-esteem. And all these again, we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, what's your responsibility? What areas of your life and your character and your identity and how you portray yourself in public is your responsibility. And I think that all these self-traits that require fuel from the person should be initiated by whoever your guardian is, right? You know what I'm saying? Your parents, or, you know what I'm saying, big older siblings or mentors or whatnot. If you ever wonder where to start working on a child, it's in the psyche of self. And so my mom instilled those things inside of me. So I never walked into a place feeling like I needed someone to say you're welcome here, feeling like I needed someone to clap for me to let me know that you got this. In most cases, I'm zoning people out.
Yeah.
So that I can remember, I told my mom the other day, I said, your voice, my subconscious is your voice. In many regards, I hear the things you've said to me, and that's why I kind of shut everybody else out to hear that inner voice that she manufactured over so many years, and that's inside of me at all times. So everybody in the room could be against me, and I could still be highly confident. Like, I'll tell you all the time, like, it can be a million people telling me I'm wrong, and I'll sit them and look them in the face and say, the chances of you being wrong and me being wrong are the same. I'm not saying I can't be wrong, but I'm saying your opinion and my opinion equal value. How about we just stand where we stand and let's see? Right? Yeah, man. Yeah.
No, I feel that.
Who we got over here?
That's interesting, though. That's interesting. Let's kind of talk about that, because you said your mom instilled all of these great values and affirmed you in a lot of things and all of that. And I feel like my mom did too, but I feel like at some point, I think because of what I feel like I saw in the mirror, I guess I didn't believe her. Okay. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of kids go through that. Like, yeah, we have our parents that tell us you're so handsome, or you can do anything and anything you put your mind to, and all of the things that parents say. But I feel like it's even more important for them to really understand what those things mean, as opposed to these are words that parents say to kids because they love them.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Let's
level it then, because now if I was so self-confident, then why did I struggle with things as a child? You know what I'm saying to you? There are areas that I did struggle, right? Remember the prayer that I prayed as a kid, let me be every woman's type, right? And so I could walk into a room feeling that self-confidence that mom's instilled in me, but if I wasn't chosen, then there was an issue. So why don't you see me the way that I see me? And so then, I feel like my mom laid the foundation, but of course, nothing teaches me how to rise to the occasion of who I've been called to be, lest I get put in situations like that. I think those circumstances really help. It's like a test, right? And you always say that you're only tested when you're being considered for a promotion. So I needed to have a strong and consistent experience and relationship with rejection in order to really learn how to affirm myself.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I hear that too. There's certain areas where mom said, but then society didn't confirm what she said.
Yes.
I feel like somebody lying.
Yeah. And your mom not gonna lie to you, but then you start thinking like, well, my mom loves me, and she
exactly.
Is this what moms are supposed to say to kids? You know what I mean? Society don't know me. They don't know me from
moms. They lie. Mom's gaslighting me 1,000%. Oh man,
that's funny. You see this? I'm gonna put this comment up real quick. Darshell Sandifer said, "I agree with the original videos. Years ago, men were mostly exposed to women in their city or in their circle, friends or family, out of town, etc. Now you can literally get what you think you want from wherever you want. As far as physical appearance goes, I think men feel like if they can just make enough money, they can get who they want, regardless of what they themselves look like." She mentioned that men were like a 4 and not appreciative of a 7. We live in a best society, best and I don't know. And any, I don't know.
Oh no, sure. Her comment got too long, so they cut her off.
Okay. But so I agree with that to an extent. I feel like it could be a conversation of what came first, the egg or the chicken in that sense, because she made a comment about men feel like if they have they can have enough money, then they can get who they want. Why do we feel like that? We feel like that because society tells women, get you a man with money and get you a man that can spend all this stuff and take you on trips. So now you got women believing they need to get a man with money, and you got men believing they need to have the money to get the woman.
I think that culturally, men and women are told that they value different things. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying to you? The man is looking for eye candy, woman's looking for a provider. You know, in certain communities, that's how it's talked about. Yeah. And it's interesting though, because even if we're going to, do like Darshell said, if we're going to use this category of 7 and a 4, who's doing the grading? Like, what if this is literally like, what if this is a 9 to me? Yeah. What if she is a 9 to me? Like I remember talking to my boys back in the day, and they're like breast men, and I'm like, dude, I'm legs. Yeah. And they would discount like, dude, she's an A, possibly a B, and they're like, dog, that's like a 4. I'm like, how much do you need, nigga? A spoonful, a mouthful, like, what are we doing, right? You know what I'm saying to you? But then they're on the same thing, like, dude, why your legs need to look like that, right? Like, so it really doesn't I think it's just something to keep us mentally busy, and it also fuels self-sabotage, because now you're trying to make society see what you see when the only person that needs to see what you see is you. Yeah. You see it, you like it, you get it, you take care of it. Yeah. But some people can't like it. Some people is like, it impacts when the society doesn't like what they like. It impacts how much they like it. So because they're doing it for the clout, right? Exactly. You'll go out there and you'll get the newest Range Rover, and if somebody's not trying to, oh man, let me see your car, let me see the inside. You pull up, and they're not really on you like that. Yeah. All of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm about to trade this in. I'm about to get something else. Yeah. Like, what do you even? Let me ask a question. The bigger question is, what do you even want a baddie for?
That's interesting. And not to knock it, to say you shouldn't want that or shouldn't have it, but I feel like your question is valid though. Like, you got to ask yourself why. Yeah. Like, is it to be able to show your homeboys like, look what I got? Is it to make you feel more of a man? Like, hey, I pulled that, so that then boosts my stock as a man. Like, I don't know.
It goes back to, like, I was asking my homegirl, same thing. So why do you and your friends like swear by a man being 6 foot? Well, it makes me feel safe. You know what I'm saying? And some of the other people are just like, because I don't really want my friends to look at me with a short king. Yeah. You know what I'm saying to you? But, to each his own. They need what they need to feel okay about whatever they're dealing with. And it's like, I don't know, man. It's a rough situation. I like to talk on here in case my nephews are listening, because it's like sometimes, they want the, if a man's not making 100,000, right? You know what I'm saying? Then, she's not interested. But 100,000 with bad spending habits versus, versus 60K who's financially like literate can create two different kind of lifestyles for a person.
I agree with that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, let me see. I saw another comment up here I want to talk about. Portia said, what up, P? She said, enhancements are a byproduct of what's inside of a woman. Same as money. Thank you, Lord, that he looks on the heart. A woman that is feminine and knows God is priceless. As beautiful as that sounds, that's just not everybody's truth. And of course, it's always tricky when we say everybody has their own truth, but really when it comes down to it, I have to say it that way because sometimes people will try to deny what they feel inside, but it always shows up.
Yeah, that's
you can be a Christian and try to take on this approach that a woman that fears the Lord should be praised, but do you really feel that way? It's gonna show up when you get one. And like the video said, like, oh, she ain't got the veneers, her teeth are crooked, or you know what I'm saying, oh, you know what I'm saying, her boobs are a little lopsided, or her hair is, man, she needs some. When you start looking like that, what are you really saying? And I think that it's best for people to be honest about what they value than trying to pretend that they value what their Christian community wants them to value and ended up with somebody that they really don't value. And it shows, and now you're neglectful in this relationship because it really wasn't what you wanted and what you valued.
You doing it because the pastors told you to do it, or you doing it because social media told you that's what's in right now,
or because the word of God said it and you just ain't there yet.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good.
I mean, I can make it.
We were talking about that yesterday. That's wild. Yeah.
I can make it applicable for myself, right? The Bible talks about being humble. How long did I struggle with that? Like, nah, God, I ain't really an attribute I'm sure really trying to flow with, homie. You know what I'm saying to you? But yet and still, it's God saying, this is what I value. I value a humble heart. Those who thirst after me will be fed, right? Yeah. But it takes you a while before you resonate with the word, but you got to spend time with God because there's certain things that in my mindset that had to be purified, right? Even concerning women, you know what I'm saying to you? So that's why I've been in a place probably since high school. Like, I like what I like and I don't care if nobody else likes it.
Right.
And I think that that's the most important thing because when it comes down to it, it's me and her in that relationship.
That's it.
What else we got in these comments? Yep, true that. Beauty fades. And I told you guys, your vision fades as well. So if your beauty fades the same rate as your vision, you're going to be all right. You already know it's true, bro.
I'm with you on that.
Facts. Didn't you say I walked away from money? Depends on values. Yeah, like, what do you value?
Yeah. So with that though, are we saying money is not a value in relationships?
Depending on the person.
So we saying that we okay with a man may not have a job or a woman may not have a job and don't plan on getting one, don't plan on contributing anything financially in the marriage or in the relationship, and we're okay with that because,
bro, I'll tell you from evidence that people are, because they out here.
For how long,
bro? Is until they hear a certain podcast.
Joe Rogan.
And maybe, you know what I'm saying to you? It's interesting, bro. It's interesting. Dr. O, good night. It's interesting, man, that how we say, oh, that could never work, but if you take a look around, it's working. It's working for a lot of people, and it's working the way they want it to work. I think I had to be careful about giving advice to try to get people to experience the kind of relationship that I thought was valuable. And then I'm like, dude, I already told you what to do, but it's like, I ain't got your answer. I can give you my experience and you can pull from that and see what worked for you. Yeah, man. All right. Yeah, man. I think it is like life is a vapor. We don't have time. And those are things that you hear from the word of God. And so I'm really thinking to myself, like, remember we talked about last week about the customer service idea, right? So me and Mike go eat. And, you know what I'm saying, a lady come over there, you know, serving our food and whatnot, and, you know, just having conversation. And I'm just like, boom, whatever. Mike was like, yo, she might be shooting her shot. And he's like, how are you so oblivious to it? And then he had a moment of, you know, reflection, like, yo, I guess I used to be oblivious too. But remember, we just talked about, for me, it's customer service. When I'm experiencing customer service, because I'm titling it as customer service, I'm not looking at it as flirting or shooting a shot. I'm just sitting there appreciating it, like, oh, you're hella nice. You're hella considerate. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm just eating it up. I'm not taking it personal because I'm calling it customer service. But I might need to relook at that because this is like the third time in the last 2 weeks.
Right. I feel like every time we go eat, somebody is trying to shoot that shot, and I'll be looking at this nigga like, bruh.
Man.
I remember you from last time.
But it's interesting though, what you hear when what you see isn't what you want.
That is interesting. How you could not want her today, I don't know. But listen, brother, like you said, we're different in some aspects, and we're the same in others, brother. So God bless you.
This is where I'm at though. Mike tried to check me today. I said I'm ready to get back. I told Mike, I said, so I'm ready to get back out here and a date. And Mike was like, no, you're not. I'm like, bro. Mike had to catch himself.
I apologize. Like, my bad. That was out of line, sir.
He's like, because I'm not approaching it the way that, because he's like, Mike is like, if you want to, then let's do it. Let's get you out there. But I'm being very methodical, and I had to remind him and remind myself, because I'm not thirsty. Yeah. I'm not in a rush.
Yeah, being ready doesn't mean that you got to jump in the deep end. You might want to dip a toe.
And because I recognize how much I have to protect. Yeah. I love what I've created, and so access. The vetting process for somebody having access to what I created, because access means you can alter. We got a whole different conversation in my head. Like, yeah, that's cool, but, and so I'm not just looking at looks like, oh man, she's beautiful and stuff like that. But like, nah, what else though? Like how one of the biggest questions that my mentor posed to me recently was, how does she respond when she doesn't get what she wants? That's one of the biggest things you want to consider in a partner, and that can go for a man or a woman. How do they respond when they don't get what they want, when they don't get their way?
Well, I guess Jay will never know.
We'll take that for tonight. That was nice. That was nice. That was nice. We'll take that. So it reminds me of this post right here. It says, when you've done the work on yourself, you can't afford to waste that on the wrong person. Ooh. What comes to mind for you, bro?
Just how, actually, two things come to mind on how I know the women that I've dated in the past. I know they did their self work, and they really did the things that they needed to do to better themselves on so many levels. And I knew at that time I was a trash nigga, and I still decided to pursue, knowing that, like, why are you gonna do this to this young lady's life? Why would you just, my nigga, you're not ready. So why are you even entering into the arena? And then on the flip side of that, I've been on the other end of that, just being in this relationship with who I'm with right now. Like, now that I've been through therapy and healed a lot of old wounds, and still, like, you know, digging up roots of things, like, I wouldn't want to be with nobody else on this planet. I don't feel like anybody will be able to protect what I've exposed in myself, but her. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
So respond to this though, because it's a good point Ali made. Ali said, while it's true, but it can be why we stay single. We have proven we can do it alone. I got a comment for that, but I'm gonna ask you first. What do you think?
No, I feel like. I mean, I guess I will need more context, but from what I'm gathering from what she's saying, I mean, we're not supposed to be alone. That's biblical. So why are we even trying to do life alone at all?
Well, let's talk about it. There are a lot of people in the Bible who were alone. Paul even encourages us to stay single, right? Not by the guidance or the push of God, but he was just saying, like, you know, it might be best to stay single, because when you are married, your devotion is divided. That's what the Bible say, right? So,
right. More scripture though. You know, if you plan on biblically, if you plan on just being celibate for the rest of your life, cool. That is legit. Be single forever if you want to,
and put on the rest of the singleness that comes along with it. Because you can't be saying I'm single. I'm single and hoeing. You know what I'm saying? That's like, what we doing here? What we doing? I'm single but pretending. I'm playing. Yeah.
I understand, bro.
I'm a free agent. But so I say it like this though, to her comment. I hear what you're saying about, you know, you single, you're doing it on your own, you're proving that you can do it alone. I don't think that's a bad thing, right? And I'm not saying that she's saying it is, but what I've created, again, I need to value what I've created on my own. One, so that if I do find myself in a relationship, I bring that with me. Two, if I find it taking longer than I would like, I don't start to compromise because I'm losing patience. What happened?
I'm laughing at Allie, her last comment.
But see, in today's world, we can do that by ourselves too. Oh, it ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't. And see, that's what happens when you get impatient. You start accepting lower quality experiences.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to make it believe in your mind, like, oh, this is This is not a supplement. That is not a replacement.
That's so
and it doesn't. Go ahead.
No, that's so crazy. Transformation Church a few weeks ago, he was talking about that. He made the analogy of taking that 1 minute macaroni and cheese and putting it in there because you're hungry and you just want mac and cheese and you know damn well if you cook your own, it'll be 10 times better, but you want it right now. So you're going to take this low grade, low quality ass powdery mac and cheese instead of getting in the kitchen and taking a few hours and see.
This is the dating for me and relationships for me the same way with food. It can't just be about taste.
Yeah,
that was not the purpose. The purpose of food wasn't just about taste. You want it to taste good, but you also want it to be good for you. You want it to help you produce good fruit. You want to eat things that give your body what it needs to perform its best. Same thing in a relationship. If you're only going for how she looks or how he looks or how he or she may taste, and you're not looking for nutritional value, I put a video up maybe like a year and a half ago, and I said, some people date the way that they grocery shop. Some people will be in a grocery store for an hour or two because they're reading the ingredients before they make the purchase. Some people date the same way. They're taking time. They're not just looking at the packaging. They're turning that thing over, reading the ingredients, and trying to make sure that, one, they don't have any allergies to anything that's in it, and two, that if I consume this, it's going to help my body become what it needs to be to do what God has called me to do. When I start looking at relationships that way, I see the benefit of taking my time to ask specific questions. Right? What are you all about? Like, what are your core values? You know what I'm saying? What drives you in life? You know what I'm saying? How are you when this and this happens, right? To understand, like, I'm not trying to prove you as a bad or a good person. I'm just trying to see if it's a good fit for me.
Yep. I feel like if more people operated in the dating space like that, you may have some longer lasting relationships. But people don't ever turn over that package. They see it said mac and cheese on it. Cool. That's what I want to eat right now.
Let me tell you though, because marketing is such a big thing. If I market this well enough, you will. If I market this well enough, if I make the package pretty enough, you'll never ask what my ingredients are.
Yep. Or just put the dangerous stuff in small fine print, stuff that people never read.
Because nobody ever asks.
You just gonna ask me what's my favorite color and what I like to do on the weekend? Cool. The surface shit?
Yeah, because you ain't asking.
Yeah. You don't, bruh.
Cigarettes got it on the front of the package, my nigga. They got it on the front.
God.
But they also know that they're addictive, right? And so certain people have addictive qualities that they highlight to say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I might be like that, but the sex is great. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I might be like that, but I'm hella fun. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be the responsible one to say, man, I would love some Oreos right now. I would love to tear up this whole box of Pop-Tarts, but for what I'm trying to do, like I saw a post and it said that discipline is the highest form of self-value or self-worth, something like that. And when I can tell what you think about you by what you do with you. Right? What you do with your body, what you expose yourself to. I could tell what you think about you by your routine, by your habits, by your hobbies. You know what I'm saying to you? I could tell what you think about you by who you follow online. You know what I'm saying? What you expose yourself to on social media. Because those are things that you're consuming because that's the level of value and wealth you think you hold. And you think you eat like you don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? You act like you treat yourself like you don't really matter based on you're willing to have certain conversations with people and you're allowing all that stuff into your ear gates because that's the level of value you think you have.
Yep.
I was talking to my homegirl the other day. We were talking about women when they get pregnant and they have a baby. Most women that I know growing up, when they have a baby, they don't allow the baby around smokers, people that cuss, and they don't play certain kind of music. Because the baby's young and they're in their development stage. I said, what would happen if we treated ourselves like that every day?
Yeah.
Or at least at certain parts, because I know there's certain times we got to go out into the world and play our part, but it's just that instinctive value to want to protect this thing. Yeah, man. We got some stuff in the comments. Donovan, what's popping, man? Happy New Year to you, bro. He said, but why do people get defensive when you ask those questions?
And then follow up with this one, though.
I asked women, what have you learned from your last relationship? Do you take any responsibility for your last relationship? Crickets.
Yeah.
Talk about it, bro.
So for me, I feel like So I feel like I've heard a lot of women say they want a man that is not so fixated on the physical, not so fixated on sex, and then you have a man like Donovan who's asking legit, real questions, and they get offended, like, "Oh, you being too deep? It ain't that serious." Why? You know what I mean? Like I understand 100% what he means by women sometimes get defensive with these questions because it's like I'm not interrogating you. This is life. Like, if this is something I'm gonna pursue, this is shit I want to know.
It's like Mike always said, "What we doing here? If I can't ask you these questions, what we doing here?"
Yeah.
If I'm here to get to know you, and I understand, you know what I'm saying, like first date, second date, third date questions, we've asked that before. You know what I'm saying to you, but it's, you know, if you walk into a situation and you can't get the questions you want answered, it's okay for you to be like, "Well, I'm cool." Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying to you? It's interesting thinking about just this whole dating thing again, and how, you know, people are like, you know, well, take me on a date and spend $300, you know what I'm saying to you, on this dinner, you know what I'm saying, where I can't even ask questions that are too deep.
Right.
How is this making sense?
Right.
What we got in the chat, man? I got to check the chat on Instagram too. Dulce Amor said, ask Mike, he got a baddie at home. Said, congratulations. She said, I must be glowing. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm glowing in a way that I can't really see right now. Gee whiz. Let's see what we got here.
That's that Neutrogena, nigga. That's all that is.
Listen, whatever. Hey, listen. Don't. If you go to my store, you see. Hold on. Don't let me. Why you gonna make me play a game? Hey, I got this mask. Mike gonna slide my DMs and put a picture of Tony Stark. Tony Stark in
like Iron Man out here.
Listen, homie, this right here, bro, gonna have me. This gonna have me in the game, bro. I'm about to be fly out here in these streets. Homie, that red light therapy though. Listen, I'm trying to stay young. I'm trying to stay youthful and giving my body what it needs, right?
Yeah.
Listen, if she can't lay up in bed with me and we put our mask on at night, just
a little avocado mask. Yeah.
Listen, all the things, bro. All the things, man.
I ain't mad at it. At all.
Why is Pookie on here screaming Chris Brown? Get your girl.
You already know.
Pookie.
Or Chris Brown Tourette's. It's all good.
Out of nowhere, just for no reason.
What?
Ah, man. I love that. Portia said, absolutely. How we love ourselves is a level of love we are capable of giving others. That tells you all you need to know, without saying a word. I love a woman with a good routine. You know what I'm saying? It's just the organization, because I've come across, I think that when me and Mike are talking about my picker, that I've definitely picked, I don't think intentionally, I think I overrode certain parts, just picking some scatterbrained kind of people in the past. You know, and it's not to a fault, but just for me, it's like a little bit more organization would make me feel more comfortable partnering with you on matters of my heart. You know what I'm saying? It's challenging to be with someone that's a busybody and not really organized, and then invite them into intimate parts of you as a man that are delicate and fragile, and they move reckless in their own life. It makes you like, baby girl, I don't. Well, why don't you talk to me? Because I think, and you know what? In the grocery store, I didn't pick up. But you need to share your heart with me because I'm your person. But wait, did you see the cat? We should really get a cat. It's like, if you can't stay focused on the conversation with me, and you're asking me to expose, like, nigga, this is not just regular Thursday. You just want to know what's on my heart. Like, that's sensitive stuff. Like,
And then what's so crazy is, and me and Jay have experienced this sometimes. What's crazy is you can't expect any level of, like, you can't expect that woman or that man to really have any sort of real deep conversation like that if you haven't communicated, like, these are the things that are important to me.
Yeah.
Like, I can't remember what it was about, but I had told Jay something, or we had a conversation about something, and she took it very lightly. I got in my feelings. Like, I feel more than what you giving me, but I didn't tell her how important it was to me. She just like,
So I learned that. I learned that in premarital counseling, and so I prefaced in my last relationship. I would start by saying, "Hey, I'm about to share something with you that's dear to my heart."
Yep.
And whenever I would do that, she'll be like, "Okay, I'm listening." And so I had to preface it, you know what I'm saying to you? Man, that's good, bro. So one of my friends said after I got deep, I had a guy comment that I had been easy to talk to up to that point.
Golly.
Listen, and that's
So look, I like Vicky's I like Vicky's answer too. She said people get upset when they're unable to answer the question, so they get angry.
Is it unable or unwilling?
I feel like some of it they haven't put enough deep thought into themselves, so some of them just think I can't do it. I don't know. To
be confident about the answer, to give language to it.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing about it though. I also think that for me, what I value is someone who has a certain level of reconciliation with their past, because I believe that we've all done some things. And I also know that we're probably going to do some things in the future. So I'm not expecting perfection, but I love when a person is at least started the conversation within. There's one girl I was talking to that I really liked, and her past came up, and it was very like, I don't want to talk about it. And some of it came out, and I did my best to like share, dude, this is what I've done too, to make her feel like, no, it's all good. But she just didn't want to tap into it. And one of my brothers was like, bro, don't force her to tap into it. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah. And that's what I used to do. Like, no, it's all good. Just talk about it. Like, this is stuff I need to know. And I had to check myself. I'm not entitled to the history of who this person is. I'm not entitled to any of my questions being answered. But what I do need to do is take into consideration if this person is not willing to go there with me in that conversation, and that's a requirement of mine, then I can politely withdraw my application. And not to be offensive, but really when you moving like this, you know what I'm saying to you, before, and this is what I had to learn through therapy, before you make all these extra accommodations that work for somebody else, make sure they work for you too.
Message.
Yeah, man.
I like this. I like this. What McJellen said. She said, we attract our heart condition.
Oh boy, let's talk about it.
So my next statement was going to be, I got to chew on that because it sounds really good and it sounds really deep and it sounds accurate. But I think I got to really think about that because, yeah, I can see. Well, both ways. I can see a lot of times where I did attract my heart condition and the relationships I was in, and then I can see where, like with the relationship I'm in now, ain't no way.
And the saying goes that we date on our level of self-security, right?
Yeah.
That's good. I feel like it's saying the same thing. My niece is on here saying I'm not commenting because I got my whole IG putting time out. Well, Destiny, what were you saying online? What were you? She done got herself. She got put in IG prison. All right, man. So I got some stuff for us tonight, bro. I got some stuff for us to talk about. Where should we go next? Because we clearly ain't gonna get to all of it. You know what? Let's do this one first.
How long do you think a talking stage should last before you're in a relationship?
The real issue with me is that I like talking stages last for years.
Yeah.
Whether I was waiting for myself to be ready or whether I was waiting for the person to be ready or if I was waiting to see if maybe someone else might come along or whatever the reason, they always went on way too long. So when I started working with Spicy Madi on my dating, I basically learned that after 3 to 6 months of dating somebody, ask them in the next 3 to 6 months, do you see yourself taking this seriously and making me your girlfriend? If they can't answer that question, then you need to go.
I'm sorry. It sounds so immature. Taking it seriously and making me your girlfriend. Boyfriend is not serious.
It's more serious than what we're doing. Mike, talk to the people for the second, man. I gotta go use the restroom.
All right, I'm gonna break down this talking stage definition. The talking stage in dating refers to the initial period when two people are getting to know each other through conversation, usually via texting or phone calls, before deciding if they want to pursue a committed relationship, often involving casual outings or dates to assess capability without fully committing to exclusivity. It's essentially a trial period to see if there's potential for something more. So, and maybe somebody in the comments can help. So is the talking stage the same as the dating stage? Because you can date, right, and not be exclusive to one person. You can just be dating. Like I know a lot of people. I've said it myself. Hey, are you in a relationship? No, I'm dating. Dating doesn't necessarily mean I'm dating anyone exclusively. It means I'm going out. I'm trying to see what I like, who I like, etc. So wouldn't the talking stage and the dating stage be the same thing?
Talking and dating?
You want me to run back the definition real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
The talking stage in dating refers to the initial period when two people are getting to know each other through conversation, usually via texting or phone calls, before deciding if they want to pursue a committed relationship, often involving casual outings or dates to assess capability without fully committing to exclusivity. It's essentially a trial period to see if there's potential for something more. That sounds like dating.
It also sounds like matriculating or like moving up the corporate ladder, right? My mentor told me after 3 years, you should either get a promotion or get a new job. And it sounds like certain corporate protocols are being applied to the dating world, which is not a new thing.
No, it's not.
Because dating already feels like an interview, right? And so like, if we've been doing it for 3 months, like, where's my promotion, my pay increase? How do I know that I'm still moving up? I need evidence of that.
So is that why? So does that answer Donovan's question? He said, "Why are people so quick to get a title?"
I think the people who are, I don't want to say obsessive, but people who are hyper focused on a title get some kind of security from that. It for them, it verifies that the other party is investing in them, and I feel like that opens people up to want to give more of their potential. I think that's the transactional way that a lot of people operate in friendships, in corporate America, and even in, romantic opportunities. I think that, that's just like people who need affirmations, and I don't want to say it's a bad thing. That's just their protocol. They need a certain level of affirmations to feel safe enough, feel secure enough, to feel invested in enough to then release more of their potential. Other people just coming in like, I'm going to give you everything I got and show you that I deserve to be here. And if you decide to not promote me, then I'm just going to leave on my own accord, and that's going to be your loss.
Yeah, I think a lot of times also people need a title because almost to put the other person on notice, like, okay, you just with me now, so let's put a title on it. So now the world knows, so now I can hold you accountable to what we say these parameters are of said title. You know what I mean? When honestly, it's not really that necessary. Like, I feel like the only real title that really matters now that I'm in this relationship is the title of marriage. Like, it's cool to say this is my girlfriend, this is my boyfriend. It's cool to introduce each other as that. But is it necessary for us to live out life together and potentially become married? I don't necessarily think so.
But this goes back to, who are you looking for validation from? Some people are looking for someone to bring home that their parents approve of, their family approves of. So how does it feel to come home with someone who you can say, hey, this is my boyfriend or my girlfriend, or hey, this is my friend and we're talking? To your family, that appears more like, okay, you're arriving at a place. Yeah, or no, I feel like if that's your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're arriving at a place of where you need to be. Like, if you're still trying to impress anybody in your life, it's going to show up in how you highlight titles or material possessions or status items. If you're still trying to impress people. And I think that some of us are still on very subconscious levels that if you don't have somebody in your life pointing them out, you might miss them. Mike helps me see areas where I'm still trying to impress people. Like, do you need to do all that? What you doing all that for? Like, yeah.
I think honestly, I think some people need titles. You know what I mean, to keep their self in check. Like, for instance, I feel like when we first started dating, I don't feel like we put titles really on anything. It was just like something that came into fruition without will you be my girlfriend, will you be my boyfriend? But I also think had we have put some parameters on that from the jump, we may have the type of guy that I was then and the stuff that I was dealing with then. I kind of feel like we may have been able to navigate around some things how we have been specific about what we were doing in the very beginning.
It's so interesting. Did you know what you were doing in the very beginning?
Yeah.
If you would have told that, you think? If you would have
not really. But we never had the conversations. Really, we never had no real in-depth conversations about what this was, what we wanted it to potentially be. It was just like, we're in this thing. We both love it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. And we're just going to allow things to flow naturally. I feel like I said, if we had maybe had some deeper, scratch the surface, pull up some roots a little bit more in the beginning, maybe we would have been able to see things before they kind of transpired. But who's to say?
When did you guys finally start to having those deep conversations? So here's what I'm here to do conversations.
After the bullshit? After the first time. Yeah. After the bullshit with me.
Okay. Got you.
Came out, and then it was like, okay, what?
Let's have a conversation here.
Yeah,
let's have a conversation.
This ain't it.
All right. So I hear people in the chat, McJellen, talking about what about courting. When I look at that video and say how long should the talking phase last, my response to that is, you created it, so you determine it, because you ain't got to do it.
Right.
It's not a mandatory thing. So there is no set time for it because you made it up.
It's when you feel like you've collected enough data to say, you know what, I can move forward with this, or you know what, I can't. That's the time. You know what I mean? But at the same time, that things like that, when you get in, like Donovan said, when you get into these titles, things like that, if you say we're talking, then you have to communicate, hey, I'm okay with talking, but after 6 months, we have to revisit this.
So you remember I had the conversation with you about how I did that 3-month thing, right? You know, after let's do this for 3 months, and at 3 months, let's have a come to Jesus conversation and say, okay, what do we want to do here? Because a lot of times I think that, you know, with the grace and with the healed heart that I have, I know that a lot of people don't know what they really want to do. They may have a plan, but the person that they're doing the plan with does kind of determine the customizations of what we're doing here.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What I want to do with you, and you're single and you don't have any kids and you're unemployed, might look different of how I want to initiate this plan with you or implement this plan with you if you have a kid, you know what I'm saying? And you have a very high demand job.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I think that the plan is important because it lets you know that you're ready, but the customizations of it really depend on the person that you're with, or your person that you're dealing with, the person you're interested in.
So here's a little bit of a devil's advocate to that. So we say, you know, hey, let's try this for 3 months, 6 months, whatever, and let's come back to it. As the person that's telling their potential partner this, do you give your 100% knowing that it may end in 3 months when we come back to this?
And see, so that's the thing about it. So for me personally, I don't want to give based on what you do. I want to do based on who I am, right? And so it's almost like, am I going to give you honesty after I start trusting you? Like, no, I want to give honesty because I'm an honest person.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that could be more potential for disappointment?
So disappointment
may not be the right word.
Okay,
but,
I'm about to say disappointment.
Getting your feelings, your emotions involved in somebody that could potentially not be there in 3 or 6 months.
So I'm gonna say it this way. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Seeing your expectations not be met.
Yes.
Okay. I think there's always a risk for that because expectations are based on hopes and formulations and fantasies you have in your own head, not necessarily how it may play out, because potential has a mind of its own, right?
Yes, I agree 100%. But there is always the potential for that. But what I'm asking is there less potential if I don't put all my eggs in this one basket?
I think for me, this is why you don't date without prayer. This is why you don't date without, you know what I'm saying, you know, seeking God's face, right? Because who am I to say that all the data that I collected, I'm going to analyze correctly? Who am I to say that my filter is so clean that all this data, I know how to properly analyze it and make a wise decision, or not even make the best decision for me? I don't know that, which is why I always say, take the data back to God in prayer and say, God, show me what I'm seeing, because sometimes it's not what I'm seeing, it's the windshield that I'm seeing it through, right?
Yeah.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
So I just, for me personally, if you're not a Christian and you don't believe in God and you're dating, then you got to go to whatever your final authority is. If it's a book, if it's a mentor or whatever, to help you analyze what you're seeing. Because sometimes you're looking at that person, dealing with that person, but you're seeing the mistakes of your father and it's troubling you. But it's troubling you because you haven't dealt with what happened between you and your father, not between you and this person.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Donovan said it. You're analyzing based off your perspective, and like I was telling my friend this past week, your perspective is the only reality that you'll ever know, right? Because that's the lens by which you see life. Your perspective can be altered, but it's still going to determine your reality because that's what you believe. That's what you're seeing. So you're going to respond to what you're believing that you're seeing. Yeah, I like that, man.
That's so funny.
Destiny, what you on here talking about? She said, I think I was too late. Too late for what? Did you get in trouble again? Validation and security, that part of the conversation. Praying and fasting is important. Dude, I told Mike one time, I remember I was trying to get to know this one girl, and we were trying to get to know each other, and I invited her into a 3-day fast, and when she couldn't make it through, I was like, yeah, you ain't it. I was like, right, but I still...
You can't, shit.
Dude, that ain't right. That ain't right.
3 days.
She couldn't do 3 days, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying too. But again, we got to be careful. I have to be careful that I'm not testing people and hiding it under the guise of a Christian ritual and saying, "Oh, if you can't make it through this, then we can't be together." Again, you still just get to know people, man. Just get to know people, and I have to work on stop seeing them as a potential partner. Because if you're saying this is a potential partner, that's already changing how you're engaging with them. Just get to know them. Because I had a vision. I was talking to my friends. I had this vision of like, you bring somebody home for holidays and it's a new person. You just met them like a week ago, but you invite them over to the family function, and you bring them in. And you're like, oh, this is Lisa. Like, oh, who's Lisa? They're asking you. And it's like, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. So I brought her here, you know what I'm saying, to get to know her, to see her around my family and friends. Because my mentor was telling me, he was like, listen, instead of, trying to see if this person fits who you want them to be, just find out who they simply are. Right? Just find out who they are. And I think that is, you do yourself a disservice of finding out where that person belongs in your life if you just are only using your partner filter to vet them. See who they are. They might be a good for another role.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So basically, we need to go back to Stevie's, see who this chick is. Listen, if you're watching tonight and you work at Stevie,
why, Mike? Why? You can tell the people closest to you that you have a plan to take your time, and they don't care. They don't care. They just
bulldoze right through that.
Gee whiz, man. Word. One of my friends texted me. He said, "You're a whole tester." God is working on me. Gee whiz. All right. So let's do a jump real quick. Let's jump here and let's jump back. I just want to see what you think about this right here.
He said, relationships are better for people who want to be in them, not that want to have them. I said, ooh, when it's true. If you think about it, everyone's like, oh my God, I want a relationship. But then you be in a relationship, you're like, whoa, no, the slightest disagreement, I'm out. And I'm not saying, I feel like I have to always put a disclaimer with you guys, because sometimes you guys be going into these comments. And I'm like, I'm not saying to stay for infidelity if he's disrespecting you or she's disrespecting you or if they're hating you. No, I'm talking about disagreements that is just like, okay, is this serious? We could work through this. Let's work on our communication. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have your opinion, I have my opinion, but as long as we come in the middle and
let's watch it again. She got me with the pretty face with the strong New York accent.
Oh dang! See, that's the thing about it. You thought she was pretty. All right, yeah. Missed it.
He said, relationships are.
Nah, Mike, that ain't it, bro. That ain't.
Okay, go back. Okay,
he said, relationships are better for people who.
All right, you're right. No, you're right. I saw that the hair and the light skin.
Listen, listen. I think the phrase is, you only have eyes for Jay at this point. I can't trust your judgment on nothing else. So don't try to hook me up with nothing, because all you see.
I stand corrected, my brother. See, Donovan said the dimples. It was the accent and the dimples and the glasses.
See, y'all both over 6 feet, so y'all got a whole different perspective of her than I do. From down here, I saw more truth. I saw it's nothing but nostrils. I just listen to the first part of this though.
He said relationships are better for people who want to be in them, not that want to have them. I said,
yeah,
that part. What do you think about that part right there?
I initially, when she said it the first time, I was like, but yeah, because wanting to actually be in, like, inside a relationship and do the things that people inside of relationships have to do in order for relationships to work is different than to have that fairy tale of, I want to have a relationship and it'll go like this and we'll live in this type of house and everything will be sunshine and roses all the time. Nah, people that want to be in a relationship usually have an idea of, okay, we're gonna have ups and we're gonna have downs and we're gonna have to navigate through certain things, and they're prepared, a little bit more prepared than maybe others that haven't put in that real thought process about what actually goes behind the scenes of being in an actual relationship.
I think my mentor told it to me best. He said that it's a difference between someone who wants it's a difference between a woman who wants a husband and a woman that wants to be a wife.
Yep.
And if you really unpack that, you'll get a deeper understanding of when you're out here. What do you want? Do you want a boyfriend, or do you want to be someone's girlfriend? Do you want to be someone's girlfriend, or you want to be that? You want to be a particular kind of guy's girlfriend? Do you want to be a wife? And if so, that's how I'm leading. Like, I don't care about the girlfriend, talking, dating, as long as I feel like this is moving in the direction of me identifying, like, what are we doing? Like, where you at, Mike?
That's so good, because for the longest, the I don't know if it was a phase or if they're still doing it, this how women say I'm wifey material. In my mind, I used to think, to who? To yourself? If you're wifey material to yourself, then it doesn't matter, because you're not going to marry yourself.
Golly.
So who told you that? Shit, like, are you lying to yourself? Like, what's going on? I also like what Donovan said right here. He said the idea of a relationship sounds good until you're in one. And and I don't think he's saying that negatively, like, but I'm just saying relationships are and I don't want to say they're hard work, but there is an amount of work that you have to put in, because you have to you're in something with a whole nother person that thinks differently, acts differently, likes different things than you do. You can't just think about, well, you can, but you shouldn't just think about yourself only and be selfish in a relationship. So there's a certain amount of work that it takes with being in a healthy relationship that some people are just not ready for.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. My niece said that's y'all filter. Somebody like it. It's talking about the girl. Like, and that's true. Again, going back to it, beauty's an eye of the beholder. Somebody like it. I like that. Pookie said, I agree. Some people just want the title, but not the actual build a relationship. Another thing I heard before was that some people want to lead just because they don't want to follow, not because they want to lead.
Damn.
Right? You know what I'm saying to you? Some people want to be in a relationship just because they don't want to be single. They don't want to be in a relationship.
Cold world. I don't want to be alone, so I'm gonna just damn. Have you ever been? Do you feel like you've been? Okay, I won't ask that on air.
Wow, that just feels like that's supposed to be a yes.
Moving on.
Gee whiz, tell my business without telling my business.
I apologize.
That's all I can do at this point. We was freestyling. All right, so I got a path I want to take us down. So let's go here first.
My only dating advice is be everything you want to find in a partner. If that's fit and smart and funny and kind, do the thing before you require the thing.
I like this so much, man.
Do we again for the people in the back, or are we good?
You can.
My only dating advice is be everything you want to find in a partner. If that's fit and smart and funny and kind, do the thing before you require the thing.
How I'm gonna be out here with my laundry list of things I want out of somebody, and if I turn that laundry list around on myself, I only check off one box. Like, to me, like, that's Like, what are we doing? Like, I'm not saying we have to have all of the same qualities and all of the same stuff, but I mean, just the bare bones and stuff. If you want, if you praying for an honest person, my nigga, are you honest? Just simple shit, but like core values, like at least the core values. I'm not saying, oh, I want a woman that can cook, and I'm not saying you got to be able to be a 5-star chef as well. But I mean, yeah, man.
Because I'm wondering, as soon as I heard it and I heard you talking, I'm like, so what qualities are just not transferable, right? You know what I'm saying? There may be certain things that I know that I'm gonna bring this and carry this, but I don't want to require this because there's something else I'm gonna need from them. You know what I'm saying to you? But I think that when you talk about like the core foundation, the pillars of who you are, like a loyal person, trusting person, a good listener, right? You know what I'm saying? Those kind of things, or, you know what I'm saying, a nurturer, those things that, you know, exist is best, I want to say, for me, if they exist within me and the person that I'm with. And I think that is where a lot of the that's where I think we go back to the beginning of this conversation. A lot of the delusion comes in, because just because you're dressed like a baddie or dressed like a wife doesn't mean you possess the qualities. So you might be able to get in, but you won't be able to keep.
I agree. And somebody may go for that costume. Somebody may see your costume and fall for it and love it and be okay with that. But you may just not be that what you're wearing right now just may not be for me.
And I think that it's best, like, again, going back to teaching kids at a young age to have the self-confidence to know that a rejection is not a strike against your identity. It doesn't change who you are. It doesn't change your value. It just simply says that person doesn't necessarily need what you're offering. But some people can't accept rejection. And then this goes back to, if you get into a relationship with someone, like my mentor said, how do they behave when they don't get what they want? You know what I'm saying to you? Does another side of them come out? Because now you're, in order to keep things, and this is not just for romantic relationships, this is even in friendships. If I can't be real with you, you know what I'm saying? And not that I can't. If when I'm real with you, you respond in this way, and I start to feel like, man, this is on me. I start to feel like, man, I can't even keep it a buck with you, because how you respond is just like, it's unhealthy for me to be around. You got to ask yourself, like, what is the foundation of our relationship, right? Because we think that it's crazy. You could be in a relationship with someone and one person think the relationship is going well, and the other person is tiptoeing around because it's being catered to one side. And some people are okay with that. Kind of how we talked about last week. The lady was like, I talked to my husband crazy, but if he ever spoke to me like that, you know what I'm saying, I'd be in a pool of tears.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head by saying, you know, teaching your kids young about that rejection piece. Yeah. Because I never was really taught about rejection from women, from friends. Only rejection I really knew about is in sports. You know what I mean? When you talk shit to your partners when y'all playing sports and this and that. But I feel like it's so important to talk to your kids about that, because, you know, especially with boys and girls, when they start liking girls, or when they start, you know, coming into, you know, like Denim's thing is now he'll put on the outfit. How does this look? You know, and I want him to be comfortable with his own identity. Like, it don't matter what it look like to me. If you like it, then it look good. Period. Bruh, no matter what anybody else think.
This is such a wonderful just topic, because it just, people, I get criticized so often about the things that I wear, the way that I do my hair.
I can't wait.
The socks that bro, it's like it's like people like, why are you doing, like, because I like it. And I think that from a young age, my mom just she prompted me to just do me. Yes. And I listen to some of the things people say, and they were like, oh, I'm sorry if that offended you. I'm like, I wasn't offended. I didn't care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, why do you wear your hair like that? You got the hair brushed down here. You wear these socks, and why your jeans so tight, but then why are those so loose, and why you ain't got no undershirt on? And I just be like, because that's what I felt like wearing. And people, like, sometimes they'll be joking with me, like at my job, and they'll think I'm sorry, did that offend you? I'm like,
nah,
I didn't care. I didn't care at all. I laughed with you. I think it's strange sometimes, but I like it. You know what I'm saying to you? It's like the things that I do and that brings joy to my life. It just makes me It makes me happy to be able to just sit in that even by myself. And then when people come along that do like it or do vibe with me on that level, that's icing on the cake, but it ain't the cake.
Yeah, that's good. And it gives you a certain amount of freedom when you can walk and live in that almost that I don't care attitude. This is me type of attitude.
And I used to think that's what it was. I don't care. It was just like I know what to care about.
There it is. Yep. And it ain't about what you think.
If I was you, I might feel the same way. But because I'm not,
I don't.
You know what I'm saying to you? So it's like it's all good. You know, and I think that's healthy because I didn't grow up just playing sports. I was in speech meets. I was, doing acting on stages, you know what I'm saying to you? My mom put me in stuff. And so I was used to not being chosen. I was used to, you know what I'm saying, being told I wasn't good at a job, used to not coming in first place. And I got used to it at a young age. But what I wasn't ready for was in 6th grade when that 8th grader didn't want to be my girlfriend.
Woo, that's what I say, boy. Yeah.
That one I wasn't ready for. I wasn't ready for that one.
Let's go home. I don't want to go to school no more. I want to sit in my room and cry.
That's early signs of me not going for who wanted me, but going for what I wanted. And going for what you want translates well in the corporate world. It translates well in sports because it's a competition. If I can just outbeat everybody else, in the romantic space, it's not the same. How can I outbeat what you want?
You can't.
but we try. How many people try to? How many people try to convince somebody that what they want ain't what they need? What you need is me.
Oh, yeah.
If you know what somebody wants and that person knows what they want and they know it's not you, the only responsible thing to do at that point is to say, okay, not me.
Unless you young Mike and you make a decision that you're gonna change their mind.
You know what? And let me take that comment back, because if you can, maybe you can. I'm not gonna say that you can't and you shouldn't. I'm just not anymore.
Who has the time?
Some people got the time.
Some people got the time.
Some people got the time and the energy. And if that's how they want to spend it, it ain't my wallet.
But on the flip side of that, I get it. Sometimes you just want what you want. Like I don't want to, like when we ordering food sometimes, and I want a burger. I want a burger from a specific place. I don't want I know that burger is good. I don't want that one though.
I had a girl tell me once, you don't know that you want me yet.
Woo! I think I said that one. That's a cold one.
And sometimes they're right, because I think in that situation, I did not. Jay told you that?
That's what she said.
And I ain't gonna even front, man. Sometimes like, oh shoot, like she grew on me, and I was like, yeah, thank you, yeah, because sometimes you could tell somebody's caught up in the Lulu. It's like, yeah, I'm not going nowhere because I know I want you, and I know that you're gonna want me as soon as you wipe that crust off your eyes, as soon as you wipe that culture off your eyes. Yep. Yikes.
Yeah, nah.
Yikes.
I don't like Janae always says, I don't do growers. I don't want you to have to grow on me. Grow on me like a fungus. No,
man, that's a rough one. Because some people, you know what? Some people. Everybody got their own thing that they doing. I think that going back to this video, I think it's wise for you to look at, like my quote says, if you met your dream come true, why would your dream come true want you? You know what I'm saying to you? Whatever you acquire requires maintenance. So if you were able to get this thing or get this person, are you also able to take care of them? Me and my friend were having a conversation a week and a half ago talking about like just people who like flowers. And I said, sometimes it's in your best interest to look at the flowers at the garden that they're planted in instead of plucking them if you don't have a place to put them. Like if you don't have soil at home, if you don't have a place to bring that flower to, it's a temporary enjoyment versus if you leave it where it grows and just deal with the fact that I don't have a place to bring you myself, but I know I can always come over here and see you and enjoy you. And I think that that's how it is sometimes with people. It's like we want them so bad we don't even think about their best interests. We just think about what we want. And I was talking to one of my like my auntie type friends. They were talking about, this girl would be so good for this guy. And I was like, well, would he be good for her, and would she be good for him? Like, is it a mutual thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying to you? And it's almost the same thing. Like you've heard people say before, like, oh man, like I need somebody like you. And it's a hard conversation to have in the moment, but it's like, but do you think I need someone like you?
Whoopsies.
And it's not to be mean, but it's for their own self-interest. Like, I understand you feel like you need me, but what happens if me and you are in a relationship and one day you recognize that I don't need you? Are you okay with that? Or I need something different from you than you are. I need someone different.
Oh.
And and sometimes you gotta have sit down with somebody more mature than you. Because I asked a stupid question once to this girl I was dating. I need work. Just pray for me. And I asked her, if you had to hook me up with one of your friends, who would it be? Because what was going on in my mind? Help me, Lord.
What's so crazy is I could see you asking that. I could see you still asking that today.
I'm not gonna do it though. I could think it. What happened in my mind was that I was trying to have a conversation in a creative way of, what do you think that I need? Because have you looked at what you're bringing here, and are you okay with what is? My friends are texting me. You're nuts. I am, man. I know. I had some things I need to work through. I got Mike here. Mike is my accountability. He's holding me down because Lord knows.
God.
I almost said no question is ever a stupid question until that's what my niece just said. My niece just
Donovan comes on the
because listen, I was in this space and I was like, I'm looking at what she's doing and I'm just like, I wonder if you even know or ever even thought about the kind of woman that I need, or if you're so focused on what you want, what you need here, that you're not thinking about if we're in a relationship or if you're liking each other, like you have a responsibility here as well. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes that's how it is when people get with someone. All they start thinking about is, what am I getting? What am I getting? What am I getting? Instead of, what do I need to provide if this is a partnership to keep this thing afloat?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's facts. That's right.
Vicky said, I had a dude tell me he could pretend to be everything he knew I wanted in a man until we were married. What?
I had a dude tell me he could pretend to be everything he knew I wanted in a... Wow. Till we were married.
Wow.
At least he was being honest.
Wow.
Because some stuff makes... So here's the thing that women need to understand about men. Sometimes we say stuff out loud.
Yeah, we do.
That makes sense quietly in our heads. And then we say it out loud and we realize, oh, prime example. So when I was younger.
Oh, boy.
There was a young philosopher when I was younger by the name of Jody. And
Jody, my Jody.
Jody, my Jody said, he said, I lied to you because I love you. I'm out here telling these bitches the truth. In my younger mind, nigga, light bulb. I said, oh my God, this is the prophet. This man is a prophet. He gets it. Now, in my more mature mind, I realized all of the bullshit behind that statement. But sometimes men just say stuff in the moment because it makes sense. Sometimes we don't even believe it. It just made sense in the moment.
And I think that that's what people get on this podcast, right? That's why it's called Maybe This Will Help. Because what we're doing, again, we're not trying to put a script together to bring you guys the best relationship advice. We're honestly in real time talking about topics and saying stuff, and then immediately after be like, nah, I don't know if that's... Sometimes, like, that's why there's a big maybe on this podcast. But you're getting a look into if you were ever a safe place for a man, I bet you that his conversation would sound a lot like ours.
1000%. Just how it's so crazy because just how some women watching or some women may think because I commented and said that lady on the video was attractive and it threw me off because she was cute in the accent. Oh, well, isn't Janae sitting right there? Aren't they in a relationship? Yeah. This is how we talk to each other.
Let me tell you about Janae at the gym and how she talk about women. Tell my sister business. So I had a question come through and it said, after all your venting, do you have a list of what you need in a woman or a partner, like qualities, characteristics, heart sets, mindset, speech, etc.? So that's a question that just came through on my text message.
Read it again, please.
After all your vetting, do you have a list of what you need in a woman or a partnership, like qualities, characteristics, heart sets, mindset, speech, etc.? So I don't know if you, my friend texted me, I don't know if you were on the podcast when we talked about it, but for my birthday gift to myself was I invited, I think 4 or 5 of my friends over to go through all the women I had dated for I think the last 5 years. And we did just that.
Yep.
What were we were specifically looking not for who I should choose, but looking at my patterns.
Yep.
What have I chosen in the past? Why have I chosen it? And the secondary part of that conversation is what I'm doing with Mike, looking at my picker. And so I have gone through and looked at the partnership, the qualities, the characteristics, the mindset. She says she remembered that. Yeah. And so that is still part of me building. That's after my breakup. You know what I'm saying to you? So this whole, I haven't been in a relationship for over a year, right? Haven't been open to dating for over a year. So it's been an interesting journey for me, and I love how I've just taken my time. Yeah, man. But some of the questions I do ask, Lord, just give me a woman with grace, because I just be curious, but I do need to, I think that one of the things I needed to do was find a way to be more direct in what I was thinking, instead of trying to come up with the best analogy. But you know what that stems from? I think 2 episodes ago, we talked about men being afraid of the full gambit of women's emotions. Yeah. And because I had been exposed to women who had an explosive, I won't say explosive hormones, explosive emotional foundation, it made me this is what really made me be more creative with my language, because I was trying to avoid blow-ups, not knowing that my creativity and my ability to give analogies stems from PTSD.
Yeah, say that. Yeah.
And I know you can relate to that.
Oh, nigga, what? And then sometimes we certain things, because we've gone back and forth in our minds about certain things. Sometimes we create these scenarios that may not even happen. She may just say, "Okay, I understand." We don't know, but we didn't devise this whole how we want to go about it. How we, it got to be the right place at the right time with the right mood, saying the right stuff, and all this other stuff. And it's like, just have the conversation.
And that's why I call it PTSD, because your logical or rational mind is kind of on the back burner because you're afraid that you're going to experience what you experienced in the past.
Right.
Yeah, man. All right. You got anything on Instagram chat before I move to the next video?
Let me check it out.
Because I got 2 videos I want to put up here. We got rid of that one. Be what you want.
We good.
All right, so check this out.
I was at the gym. I was like, I ain't doing cardio today. I'm good. And in my spirit, I heard, is that the body you want to give your husband? Is that what I want him to have?
Is that the body I want to give my husband?
When you are loving from a whole place, there's a level of caretaking that I want to do for him. And it goes beyond cooking and cleaning, right? But when he walks home and he sees me, I want him to say, that's mine. I want him to be proud of what's waiting for him at home. So loving my body, caring for my body is also how I love you.
That was really good. That was really good. But what's so crazy about that statement? If we talking about marriage, then I'm gonna be coming. Well,
I
should be.
Okay.
Coming home looking at you like that, regardless. We already married. You know what I mean? That means that I've accepted all things that come along with you, even those extra pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
However, comma.
Okay. All right.
However, comma. The fact that this woman said that she's even willing, that whole statement is just like, oh God. Like, even the statement alone, even if it took you 5 years to get where you wanted to be, the fact that I know that's the direction and the level of thinking that you're on, oh, you got me. Just the fact that you would even consider me in your physical journey, like, what? That's your body. You don't have to do that. You don't have to consider me or what it looks like to me. And from my vantage point, looking at you, you could have just said, hey, I want to get in shape for me. But the fact that you even consider me in that type of decision for your own body, that, man, what?
So I'm gonna say this, and I don't want it to come off like as aggressive. Okay, cool. This goes back to the conversation of creating ease for your partner.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying to you? Like, yeah, any man or any woman can pull it together and be like, no, that's my baby. I love them. I accept them. Right. But creating ease is not just, again, like you said, making sure they have food when they get home, or making sure her feet are rubbed when she gets home, or making sure the bills are paid so she ain't got to worry about it, or, you know, it's also individual side of it. Like, make it easier for them to continue to be faithful. Make it easier for you to continue to love them. Make it easier for them. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that if you don't do it, that's a green light or a card to step out and cheat on you. But again, you know what I'm saying? If you understand that your partner has physical and visual, emotional and spiritual needs, how can I contribute to making your spiritual life, physical life, mental life, visual life easier? How can I make it easier for you to be my husband? How can I make it easier for you to be my wife?
And then even on a baser level, how could I make it easier for you to be sexually attracted to me? If I know you like this type of woman, if I know you like this type of man, and it's exactly opposite of what I am. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I then should go try to be like someone else. But I'm saying you like a little arms, okay? I'll get a little gym membership, do some arm days, or get in the gym a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Like, that type of shit is dope to me. I feel like that's when you're just wanting to do those things to make your partner happy. You don't have nothing to do with me. This is what she wants. And of course, the byproduct of that though is I'm becoming healthy myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win.
I think that what it takes to be in a relationship with one person may not be what it takes to be in a relationship with the next person. And I think that it's important for us to, while we're dating and vetting people out, to see what makes their world go round, what makes them tick, right? You know what I'm saying to you? What are they really into? Because there's a way that they already are fueled by life. There's certain things, right? And so it's one thing for you to come into their life and want them to fully accept you and to really be passionate about you. But what about the things they're already passionate about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? It's like, and this was I was thinking about when I was talking with my female friend. She was talking about the guy she was dating. I was talking about getting back into dating, and she was talking about how women want to be the center of a man's world. Mm-hmm. And you see that even in the friendship, like even when it's somebody that you're interested in, you'll see it in dating, how much she wants to be the center of your world, because she'll try to put herself in places where she knows you have other responsibilities or other priorities, just to see if if she'll be a part of your process, a part of your planning, a part of your idea of how you want to do this. And I think for me, the way I responded to her was that I think it's every man's joy to have a woman as the center of his life, right? You know, of course, in my case, next to Christ or below Christ. But at the same time, when I think about how sacred of a position that is, that's not for every woman. That can't be.
Nah, bro. Can't.
And so then that just further reminded me why my vetting process needs to be what it is, why my prayer life needs to be what it is, because for you to be a center of my world, which I'm capable of doing, the fit, it needs to be tailored a certain way. And it may not all be tailored from the gate. There may be some growing into each other, but from the jump, there's certain things, and I have to figure out what those certain things are that needs to be in place as the pillars.
That's facts. That's facts. And it takes a certain amount of trust as well to have somebody like that in that type of position. Like, you know, like in my relationship right now, it's not too many decisions that I make on my own without at least getting her knowledge, her views, even when it comes to posts. Like, you think I should post this right now? No, I think you should wait. Cool. Because I trust her enough to know that she's not coming up from it from this point or that point. She's unbiased. She's giving her legit way that she feels, and she's going to back it up with something that's legitimate reasoning on why. Same thing with my business. If I make any business moves, I'm more than likely going to run it by her. You know what I mean? But it like I said, it just takes a certain amount of trust to be able to do that. But as far as a partnership, if we're gonna be a partnership, are you saying we just gonna be partners in the romantic sense, or are we gonna be partners across this whole thing?
And that's why for me, you know, I love ankles, I love eyebrows, right? Above all that, legs and everything, what the most attractive thing to me is when I find a woman who I like how she processes, how she thinks, how she, you know, just her perspective on life, her perspective on problem solving, her perspective is the most attractive thing. And I don't think I'll ever go into detail publicly what I like for that to look at. But I know for me that, for lack of better terms, she could be a 4 in the face. But if I'm in love with how she processes things, bruh, that's all me. That's all me. And she could be a 10 in the face. And I've done that before. With a horrible processor. Because the thing about it that I didn't understand, that I understand now, is that how she processes life is how she's going to process you and your behavior as well. You know what I'm saying to you? And I'm not saying there's something wrong with it, but I'm saying if I can't live with that, like, I'm like, oh, that's how you're going to interpret me the same way you're interpreting these situations. You're going to see problems where I don't see problems.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying to you? You're going to see offense where I don't see offense. You're going to be offended by things that I'm doing because I see you offended by other things. And I'm like, you find that offensive? You took that personal? You know what I'm saying? You think like, and I'm like, that goes back to me, you know, just thinking about a woman that's, you know, that's scattered and unorganized, and again, that's lost touch with her feminine side, her soft side, or that it needs to always be prompted. Like it has to be a catalyst for you to be soft. Like, there's probably a guy that would love that, but I would love a self-starter in that regard.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to be soft for the sake of them wanting to know that I'm just a soft person. Yes, I know how to hold my own and do this stuff, but that I like being soft. That's almost like having a man that you have to continue to prompt to want to protect you.
Yeah, nobody want to do that.
All right, bro. So here's one for you, man. I think you're gonna really like this one.
Oh shit.
Yep.
No disrespect to you when I say, okay. I think that sometimes some of y'all women really don't understand how territorial men are. That's biologically how they are. It's different if you were covered up, but baby, you got titty tape on. So yes, of course, a man who knows how men are going to look at you, knowing that there's going to be men who are going to be predators or going to pursue you, he's right for saying that. That's not meaning that he's insecure. He's territorial. That's a man's nature, and that's absolutely okay. It's your responsibility as his woman to understand his nature and to also have boundaries with yourself, knowing what you are exposing yourself to. I'm going to say this. I'm going to be quick. I'm so glad I can have conversations with my husband, because I asked him, we had a deep conversation. I said, what is it about women that will make you not wife her? And the first thing he said, the way she presents herself.
Damn.
Well, you guys were able to hear that, right? The way she presents herself.
Sheesh. This is so crazy, because I already have it, and me and Janae had these conversations all the time about how we're going to raise our daughter, and it always comes back to this.
Sorry, pause. That made my heart happy. Go ahead.
The way you present yourself to the world, you and again, I'm not knocking nobody. If you want to present yourself to the world with little to nothing on, shaking your ass on social media, go for it. But as far as what men see, like, you're gonna get all the likes on Instagram and you're gonna get all the DMs, but whose mom that have you met lately? You know what I'm saying? Like
yikes.
Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that they can't, and I'm not saying that they're bad people.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, when you wondering why, you know, why you getting the same guy over and over again, and you wonder why all I do is get flown out to trips and having a whole bunch of sex with these random guys, and they take me to nice places and they spend a lot of money on you, but I still don't feel like anybody actually sees me. It's because maybe the way that you're presenting yourself to the world.
So let's talk about it, because is there a right and a wrong way to present?
Yes, the right and the wrong way is dependent on what you want out of life, what you want out of the relationship.
Fair enough. Because I was gonna say, like, when we have these conversations about people wanting to be my authentic self, I wonder how often do you consider if your authentic self is in direct conflict with your destiny or with your calling? Like, you want to be your authentic self so bad, but there's a certain level of self-discipline and self-sacrifice that's associated with purpose in life and with calling. And so when it comes to being authentically who you are, how do you curtail and cater and curate how you want to be in a moment to who God has called you to be in a moment. Because you have every right. She has every right to wear that denim jacket with titty tape.
Yep.
But has she taken time to consider how that might be in direct conflict with what she says she wants out of life? What she wants? She wants a man to respect her. And she might. But are you making it harder for yourself? Are you making it more challenging? Because there's a man that could probably overlook that and not have an issue with it. But am I making life harder on myself because of how I choose to walk in my authenticity?
Facts. And it's just like that goes back to the other video we watched right before this about how she said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym because I've learned my man. I've studied my man. I know the things that he likes to look at, the things that he likes to see. You got to do that on the reverse end, on the back end of that too. Like, why? And for Janae, she already know I'm crazy. So why then would you dress in a certain way to where you would cause unnecessary attention? Not saying that she did anything wrong by putting on whatever she put on, but you know me, and you know that whole territorial thing, that one protection thing, like the whole looking and stuff is cool, but then when we start making unnecessary comments, when we trying to, when it gets disrespectful, you already know I'm on 10. So if it ain't gonna kill you to maybe, put on a t-shirt underneath the denim jacket, can we at least do that?
If it ain't gonna kill you,
why do I have to act? And my thing, the turn off for me is when I have to ask you to do that because you haven't learned me, you haven't studied me, you haven't considered me in what you're doing. You consider, I look good, I'm gonna kill him in this. I'm gonna just throw it on. Fuck this nigga.
Let's talk about it then. If that's the case, then I got some self-checking to do because I'm good for wearing a button-down shirt.
No, listen. Today, what I tell you, as soon as you got out of the car, I said, "Well, nigga, let me cut my sleeves off my t-shirt." Then I didn't know we was gonna have the suns out, guns out today. Shit.
So in my previous relationship, I think she came from a very conservative home. So what I'm saying, me, I got the top 4 buttons of my shirt is open. What I'm saying, I got the chains and the chest tattoo out and stuff. And that's something I would do. And she would often walk up to me and just try to button my shirt for. I'm like, don't do that. But did I really take time and did I to see where she was and what she was comfortable with, and did I care enough? Because if I'm thinking about marrying this woman, talking about engagement, but I'm still struggling with putting these buttons up, where am I at? What does that say about me?
You got to. It's so great when you get to the point to where you're no longer questioning your partner, but you're questioning your own motives on why you do things. You know what I mean? Or even in the dating world.
The thing about it, she told me that my shorts for the gym was too short. And what did I do? I took all those short shorts, and I don't even know where they're at. They're probably in storage somewhere. I don't even wear. She said, "Well, you can wear them on the house, stuff like that." I was like, "I'm getting rid of them all together because you don't like them." But I think that I started getting rid of so many things she didn't like that I got to a point like I got to keep something. But my point is what you're saying, though. I need to start asking myself these questions. If this is a person you want to be with, and this is what makes them feel comfortable, and I'm walking around here with titty tape on.
It's all right, but it's a fine line because it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's a conversation. I don't like it, and then you say, "Okay, well then I'm not going to do it." No, it's okay to say, "Why don't you like it?" Because if it's because of your own insecurities, then maybe that's what really needs to be fixed, and not my shorts.
Are you catering to some of your partner's insecurities though while they work through them?
Yes. I'm not going to even hold you. Yeah,
exactly. So I had a friend text me. She said, I had a guy tell me he didn't want me wearing leggings. And I said, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to wear leggings." And we stopped talking.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
That's something he couldn't handle. And that's something that you wasn't willing to give up. It's nothing wrong with that. That's what people need to understand. Everybody is not going to like everything. Some men don't care if their woman gets on Instagram butt naked.
This is true. So that conversation she had was about being territorial. So check this out. Niall said, "True, we live in a reality in certain ways to present ourselves. We'll give off certain opinions from others. So because of that culture, definitely, if you don't even want to risk of that, you present yourself well. Only problem I have with that is how she is okay with men being territorial. It's like I've had men think that, hold on, comments coming in. It's like I had men think that they own, and I'm like, where did that come from? No one owns anybody." Interesting.
No, that's a fact. And to me, the it's one of those things where the tailoring yourself for somebody else's wants or what they feel like they need out of a relationship really comes to play on that other person's account. Meaning, like, I'm not gonna tell Janae or ask Janae not to wear something. I have to trust the person that I picked, that I chose, we've cultivated this relationship. So at this point, I shouldn't have to ask her, "Hey, babe, don't go outside with your nipples out." Like, I don't have to ask her that. I don't have to. I've never had to, because that's the person I chose. I knew before, but when we in our dating phase, because I did my research in our dating phase, that she wasn't the type of girl that would even go out to do that. So I already knew I didn't have nothing to worry about in that aspect. So I think more so the question is, like, what are we doing in the dating phase? Are we paying attention to how this young lady is dressing? Are we paying attention to the kind of friends that this dude hangs out with? Do you see him on the block all the time? Is he making shady deals? Is he hanging out with a bunch of gangbangers, or what is he doing? So don't be surprised when you're in a car and somebody shoot at the car. Oh, I had no idea. You did have an idea. He been hanging out with.
Were you paying attention?
For years. Were you paying attention?
Were you paying attention? So, if anybody's out there upset with the fact that they're single, they don't want to be single. Man, the presentation is important to men. I want to say that as a blanket statement.
That's a good. Yep.
Yeah,
it is. Whatever that may be.
I got one more video, one more
delicious
comment for you. Oh shoot! So we ain't doing it. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right, we got one more, ladies and gentlemen. Tag your best friend. We about to get to the last video of the night. I don't know if this is gonna be a long conversation or a really short one.
So let's get it. Either way, I'm good.
Which is what, like, woman to woman. You want me to stop being friends? I want you to stop being friends first. Like, today and now, I want that to stop, because it's making me uncomfortable, and I feel like y'all really being sneaky. That's not fair. And I think y'all need space. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fair. If you want me to stop being friends with Chris, then tell Chris to give me back the $2,500 that I loaned him. $2,500. Why would you loan him $2,500? Why don't you ask Chris? That's what I'm talking about right there. Do your man know that you gave my man $2,500? Mika, I got Chris back and he got mine. Whatever situation y'all was going through, y'all needed help. Guess who was there? I was. But then why don't I know about that? And that's what I'm talking about right there. I don't know. Everything is not for you to know. That's the thing. Like, that's the problem. Everything is like, you don't have to know all of that. That's sneaky. It's not sneaky. It's not like that. For years, and here you are coming back some girl. Mika, listen, Chris was embarrassed. He lost his job. He was embarrassed to really just let you know. Like, he was embarrassed. He didn't want you to know. I helped out in a time of need, and that it is what it is.
Your best friend of the opposite sex wants you to stop being friends with them because it makes them uncomfortable.
So we're going to just assume that Chris didn't know that this meeting was going to take place.
For sure. It didn't seem like he did. Possibly.
That's a problem.
Oh wow.
Because this doesn't sound like, hey girl, I just wanted to talk to you about some things that have been on. This sounds like confrontation. Like, I'm going to go confront her about this. Not only do I not want you to be his friend, you need to stop right now.
Immediately. Yeah.
Sorry. What? Because more than likely, the best friend, let's also assume that she's been there before the girlfriend.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be weird if we together and another girl comes in and she's my best friend.
Right.
But it could happen. Today is 2025.
So what I would prefer happen, hey, let's first, me and my girlfriend, partner, me and you have a conversation, because I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to cut her out. But let's talk about why you feel like I should. Before I give any answers, yay, nay, sway left or sway right, let's talk about what is it that you're worried about will happen if we continue to be friends? Let's have that conversation, because maybe after this conversation, you don't even got to talk to her. If you still feel like there's an issue, because when you're in a relationship, I don't want you going around feeling like, oh, are they? And she never said that she feels like they may be messing around.
Exactly, she didn't say that. Yeah,
she didn't say that. But why are you so pressed?
Let's talk about the reasons
on why, besides y'all might have something more going on, than why you would be so pressed as far as to not be.
I can tell you why.
Let's go.
I think there's multiple reasons why a woman would be pressed if her man has a girl best friend. I think that the fact that if he's saying that he loves his best friend, there's heart space being reserved for. I'm just telling you from experience.
No, I agree. I've had a female best friend. I get it.
So there's heart space being reserved for her. 2,
100%.
If you're with a woman that knows how to use her feminine nature to manipulate you, she also knows that your best friend's probably doing that too. She's assuming, projecting that the other woman in your life, if she has ill intentions, and she's probably going to project and assume that the other women in your life that are close to you have ill intentions as well, which is why some girlfriends don't like their boyfriend's mom, right, or their sister. I think another big factor to consider in that is that when it comes down to you and her and that man, if say for instance I'm that guy, right, and me and my lady are together and I have a female best friend, when it comes down to us making certain decisions as a couple, and I go to my best friend for advice, and that means she's privy to certain information. If you recognize, and I think I said this on the podcast before, men tend to get along with their male friends pretty easily, but women usually have a lot of issues and you know what I'm saying to you. And so I think that it's easier in that regard for a man to trust a man than a woman to trust a woman.
Okay. Yes, I agree. But I guess where I'm still not seeing what. And I guess we have to.
I'm not saying it's logical.
No, I got you. I just feel like I said in the beginning, me and you need to have this. Should have already been discussed. How do we get here?
Listen, who said it earlier?
How do we get here? How do we get to the point to where you're now meeting up with my best friend without my knowledge to confront her about? Yes, we need to have a whole. Hey, come talk to me and Janae. She tripping again. Nah, but let's all go out and let's talk and let's see what's really the issue. And it sounds like BFF don't have no issue. It sounds like they don't have no issue. It sounds like the only one with the issue is her. And it sounds like there's a little bit of insecurity, because why are you giving him $2,500? Well, you couldn't give it to him. So is that why you mad? Because you couldn't be there the way he needed? And I was.
Would it be an issue if it was a male best friend?
No, it wouldn't, Donnie. No, I would bet one of my guns that it would not have been an issue if he was going to his homeboy the same way.
Okay, I'm saying that because I saw a video about that online, just pretty much about the whole idea of why do the dynamics change when the best friend is of the opposite sex. So what do we do in a situation, Mike? What would you tell me to do if I was in a situation? I finally found someone to date. I'm in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I used to have a female best friend back in the day, so she's back in the picture. And I find out that this conversation happened. Am I you guiding me to choose one or the other, or what are you telling me to do?
You know me. My first go-to is always have a conversation, whether you got to have a conversation with her, whether you got to have a conversation with both of them, where you got to have a conversation with the other party involved. Like I've been in situations, real life situations, where I was dating a girl and her kid's father had a big issue with me, just as, you know, it tends to happen. Who's this new guy going to be around my kid? My brother, we don't even got to go there. We could just go. Let's grab some lunch. I'll pay for it, and let's just talk. Let me disarm you, so you don't have let's disarm you, so you're not huffing and puffing and all upset. Let's talk about what the real issue is.
What did you say last time? We were on the podcast. We were talking about people having best friends of the opposite sex. What was your stance? What was your stance on that?
I feel like it's possible, if there's trust, understanding, and maturity on all sides, meaning on my side, on the best friend side, and on my partner side, we all have to have a mature space to know that, hey, if I say, hey, me and Lauren are going out to grab some lunch. You want anything? You want me to bring anything back? I don't want it to be like, you and Lauren, why are you? Come on, dude. Because if I said me and Carson are going out to eat, it would be no issue.
So for me, I go back to different situations that I've been in with female friends who weren't my best friends, just female friends that people knew about. And one of the things that came up was that if I was in your shoes, I know what I would do. So I have to treat you like you would do what I would do if I was in that situation. And I think that's the subconscious wire. I think that we talked about, that's where people feel threatened, or they feel like something's not okay because they know themselves. Of course, they may not tell you that, or they may be doing that themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a cheater is usually the most paranoid person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I'm looking at it from that lens about, if I was in that situation, I would hope, again, that I've already introduced and I've already facilitated enough group conversations, because we've been privy to conversations like this on the podcast to know that, hey, this may be potential pain point. Hey, I got a female best friend. You know this up front. Let's all get together and, and talk. Am I trying to damage control? Because now it sounds like I'm putting a lot of effort into trying to make you okay with it. Or should I just see if they're okay with it and let that be the determining factor if we move forward or not?
Yeah. And now that I'm replaying the video in my mind, I feel like there's a little bit of because the best friend was giving her information, like Chris was embarrassed that he lost, and so the girlfriend's like, well, why I didn't know none of this?
Well, she said you don't need to know everything. How was that for a response?
That stung me. Like
But so here's the thing though, Mike. If your girlfriend is not your best friend, then what is she in comparison to your best friend? And I know I'm using the word comparison.
Well, one, I feel like you can have more than one best friend. That's just me.
Okay.
That's just me. I feel like you have more than one best friend. I feel like they may not both hold the same. They may play different roles. You know what I mean? And you may have more access here when this person has more access with this particular thing. But I feel like for me, if I tell you or I tell Car something, more than likely I done either already told Janae or I plan on telling Janae.
Yeah,
I may come to you first, I may come to you like, hey, I'm thinking about this XYZ, and come to you for a little bit of guidance, but more than likely, it's nothing that anybody's gonna tell her, man, woman, female. And that's the great thing about being free and being honest in your relationship. It's nothing that nobody on this planet can go and tell her that she don't already know.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean? That's beautiful.
It really is, especially coming from somebody that had a lot of secrets and lied about a lot of stuff, and just to be in a place of freedom where, you can leave your phone around, or she can know passwords and not have to worry about, we had this conversation the other day, and I was just basking in the fact that it feels good to be able to just go take a shit and leave my phone on the couch while she's sitting on the couch.
Specifically a shit.
Yeah, because that's the longest time in the restroom. Or leave the house.
You should get your system checked out. Okay. I'm sorry. It shouldn't take that long. Go ahead.
That was my fault. I opened up that bite. No, that's not even you. I'm not going to even blame you. That was me. That was my
You just
fault.
told all your business without knowing you was. Go ahead.
It's fine. No, but just being
40 minutes later, huh? Go ahead.
Right. More like
Mike, just stop giving all your information away.
Her thing is, I'll see you in 30. Like, that's literally her thing. That's like our thing. See you in 30.
Hey, right. Jay, all that ain't pooping. He done took a nap, done his taxes. He got
right.
Crossword puzzle. Go ahead, man.
I just feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many things you take for granted when you're in a place of hiding stuff, or in a place of lying, or in a place of being secretive. The more I found the more that I share with her, and the more that I open up to her, and don't have these secrets, and it could be just small, like when it's really your best friend, like why wouldn't I share this? It's my friend.
I love that, man, and I look forward to that for myself. I recognize though that some of the women that I know, they think they're more safe than they actually are.
Bruh.
I think that the in my past, the women I've come across think about what will make them feel safe, and they create that environment for me, versus learning me and knowing what makes me feel safe. But I digress. Check this out. Gingy said, best friend turned on him and exposed him. Why, if that is your best friend? I feel like she was cornered. Best friend turned on him and exposed him.
Is that
so that whole thing, like he didn't tell her about the $2,500, but I feel like she got pressed and then she gave up the goods. She did.
But you feel like she was intentionally trying to throw him under the bus, or it was just like, look, this is what happened.
I feel like she regrets saying it.
Yeah.
I feel like if she could go back, she just wouldn't have said anything, because that didn't change the woman's mind at all.
It probably made the case worse. She made it worse for herself.
She gave it.
You shit too? You giving this nigga money?
That's probably something she'll have to apologize for, because. Yeah, but then it's like, damn, it's like, why is there beef between my girl and my best friend? Why does there even have to be that somebody's in the wrong position?
Yo, yeah, maybe. And so for me, it goes back to the girlfriend. Like, what's the fucking issue? Like, me and this girl been cool this whole time, and we had never had no issues. Now I bring you into my life, and now I have so much friction with the person that has been my best friend for umpteen years.
Yeah.
So what's the issue? The only common denominator here is you. So we gotta fix this, because honestly, there's some friends in my life that's not going nowhere.
But I don't know if they're the common denominator, because you invited them into that space. You knew the friendships you had set up beforehand, and you still invited this person into the inner circle.
So did she, and you agreed to it. So now, why is there a problem now?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure this is not the first time she's met the best friend. So you knew she was here. You probably knew she was here while you was dating Chris. Chris told you. Chris seemed like the kind of guy that kind of told you what it was.
So check this out. So TY said, if you have a best friend of the opposite sex, he or she should respect boundaries. Like Mike said, it takes trust, communication, and maturity all around. So do you think that maybe the best friend should have been like, yo, I know you don't want to share this with your girl, but you probably should. She should have been more of a promoter for the relationship. Like, it's not good to keep secrets from your woman like this.
I feel like for sure she should have said that if she didn't. And I feel like for sure that like we kept saying, some type of conversation needs to be had, maybe as a group. Like, what are the boundaries? I'm sure they haven't set no boundaries. I feel like certain things, we just talked about this today. Certain relationships got to change when you get into a relationship. When we was walking to the car after the restaurant, we was talking about that. Like some relationships have to get cut off altogether. Some friends gotta go.
Yeah, because they no longer fit the dynamics. When you partner with somebody, the dynamics of your life change, and some people just don't fit in there anymore. And that may be a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. I've had to cut off guy friends and girlfriends because of this relationship.
What do you think about this, though? She was trying to hurt her.
The best friend was? I didn't for me, I didn't see that. I feel like girl was coming real aggressive, and a girl was just like, yo, like, I don't, like, my hands is up. I don't want no smoke. This is why I did it. This is what happened. This is why I did it. He was embarrassed. He needed the money. She could have said, you didn't do it for him. To me, that's hurtful words. I feel like in her mind, even when she said you don't need to know everything, I feel like for me, that kind of hurt me. But in her mind, I don't see that as her trying to. I feel like in her mind, like, this is between me and my best friend.
So this is what she said. She literally said, "Well, if that's gonna happen, I need that money back." That was really loose to come out of her mouth fast too. And I think for me, I agree, but I want to give a little bit of grace here, because I feel like the best friend was blindsided by this conversation. It's not like she was sitting there like, oh, well, hold on, what are we talking about?
Which is why she, to me, which is why she recorded it, because she's going to go back and show Chris, like, this is how she came at me today.
Yeah.
Why else would she be recording it?
So that's a whole different conversation. Why are you just recording? What did you feel? What did you feel was about?
She felt
man.
The girl came at her sideways. To me, that conversation would have went way different if Janae's best friend, or if I was the best friend, and
somebody her guy.
Nah, who you think you talking to? I need to stop being friends right now. Who you talking to?
I think that guys would handle that very differently than women would, because I do think that goes back to our territorial. Like, no, this is a person I protect and whatnot, and you know what I'm saying to you. We got
like for me in that situation, we got similar goals. You trying to protect your woman, I'm trying to protect my best friend. If anything, me and you should be cool.
Would you step down?
1,000%. Yep.
If your best friend's boyfriend was like, you make me uncomfortable, would you step down?
I wouldn't even want to put, if it's really my best friend, I wouldn't even want to put I wouldn't even want to put her in a position to where she would have to try to choose between the two of us. Listen, I'm gonna tell him I'm gonna still call and check up on her from time to time. But if that's it. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm a little different, bro. I'm a little different. I'm not willing to abandon an agreed upon responsibility with my best friend because a new person came in and is not okay with it. My integrity says that I need to ask my best friend, like, yo, do you want to move me around to make it better for your relationship? I'm not just going to demote myself because now I leave her without, I didn't even ask my best friend something that deeply concerns her.
I was under the assumption that they had both already agreed. Like, she was already okay with me not being in the picture because this nigga was upset.
Nah, I gotta go have a conversation with her.
Would you be okay with it causing friction in her relationship just so you can stay around?
I want to be wherever my best friend and I agree on that's best for her.
She wants you to be there.
Yep.
He doesn't want you to be there. It's causing arguments. It's causing fights. It's causing, you got to come to the house and pick her up. You got to do all of this. She's not willing to leave him. She's not willing to leave him though. There's those situations. I love him. I just can't. I don't. Yeah, but he damn near going upside your head.
Then that's where I say, okay, here's my responsibility here to you as a best friend, and here's where you create an environment where I can't honor that responsibility. So let's make some amendments here.
Yeah, because what if keeping you safe is me not being around?
Dang. Yo, that's real though. That's real, because I've known some people in the past who've experienced relationship abuse from their partner because they've had friends of the opposite sex, not even best friends, just friends of the opposite sex.
That's wild.
That is wild, bro. I think with
their own partner, but they don't, for whatever reason, they can't see that. But you can't make them see that either.
Yeah, so Vicky said, I agree. I feel like the bestie was being attacked. By the time the girlfriend gets home and gives Chris her side, it's going to be translated a whole different way.
That's why she was recording, and that's why she was recording.
Yep.
So she has receipts.
Yeah, Jenny said a best friend would be okay with that if that's needed. I think that we both sitting in roles that the woman has assigned us, and so if there's going to be any reassignment, it's going to have to come from the same person.
She's the only one that could do it.
And me and you just created a dynamic here. So she wants to keep both of us. Dang, that sucks though, because then it's like, but I'm trusting my best friend not to put me in an environment that's going to be that's you know what I'm saying, because she's my best friend as well. So I'm pretty sure she's thinking about my well-being the same way I'm thinking about hers. You know what I'm saying? She wouldn't want to expose me to something that's hostile and volatile for my health and well-being as well. But then it's rough though, because I've had friends in the past who've gotten into stressful and, very argumentative environments and wanted to invite me in because I'm their best friend. But were they thinking about me at that point? Like, it just sounds like there's a lot of selfishness about to pop off within this trifecta.
Yep.
Yikes. And it almost makes me feel bad because I really want to say, man, I'll let y'all just have it. But in my mature mind, it's like I got a responsibility to my best friend, and we need to have a conversation because do you know this is what's going on?
I feel like at least a conversation should be had. And if she says, yeah, I know, okay, well, because I'm not going to be a part of no bullshit. Forget what you think. I'm not going to be a part of nothing like this. Best friend or not. Especially if I've created all of this peaceful life, I don't want to then look at you as, oh Lord, she calling me.
Yeah, what kind of drama she got going on today?
What other drama? I don't know if her dude is there. I don't know if he tracking her location to see if she at the house. I don't know if this nigga gonna try to pop up because he don't want her over. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
And that just makes me, as we end this show, man, it just makes me want to say again, consider the responsibility you have to the people that you've assigned to be in your life. If whatever you acquire requires maintenance, if you've put people in your life to be any kind of support system for you, be considerate of the environment that you're exposing them to. Even if you're family, right? Don't do your best not to put the people you care about in harm's way, especially if it comes down to you just lacking self-discipline or you being negligent. Like it goes back to my mom used to have a problem with. She used to have a problem with people calling me when they were in hostile situations, calling me to the aid to come, because I'm muscular and I'm a man. She used to have a problem with that, because if you really care about somebody, this goes back to something you said a few podcasts ago. If you really care about somebody, why would you put them in harm's way like that? Why would you not consider their well-being? Because what happens that you get you a man that you want to feel like loves you and has your back, and then he gives his life for you, and then you end up just replacing him. I guess he really did love me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off of that, and make sure you have those real legit conversations. Not, oh, I want you to be my accountability partner. Yeah, but what does that look like? What does that entail? What is that that job description? Like, I need a full breakdown of what you expect me to do, because there may be some stuff in there I don't want to do, can't do, or whatever. So don't disagree. Like, okay, I'll be your accountability. You don't even know what you got to do in this job. You just know this is my best friend or this is my friend, and I want to be there for that person. But sometimes being there for that person and that title of friendship ain't enough. You need to know exactly what this person is expecting of you before you agree to something like that.
I'll tell you one quick story and then we'll get out of here, bro. I was in Texas. My pastor, I was his armor bearer. If you know anything about church politics and structure, you understand what that is. So I was his armor bearer. So after he would finish preaching, he would go straight into his office, and he started asking me to stand at the door and don't let anybody in. And I started doing that, and people would come to the door from the choir, other people who were on the board. And I'm like, no, you can't get in. They're like, you got to be kidding me. Like, he said nobody. If he wanted to be somebody, he would have gave me a list. He said nobody. One day his sister walks up to the door and she's like, I'm going. It's like, you can't go in. It's like, you got to be kidding me. So it turned to a whole situation. People had to hold her back. She cussed at me, said, don't make me slap this MF. And so after the whole debacle went down, me and him chopped it up. He was like, I'm sorry for putting you in that situation. But were you thinking when you told me to don't let anybody in? Like, did you considered that I would keep you safe, but did you consider how to keep me safe while I keep you safe?
That's good, bro.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's good, and that goes back to what that video we watched about what she was wearing. Are you considering me in putting this on today? That a nigga might pop off, maybe grab one of your titties, slap you on the ass. Yeah. Then what? Is this not just safe for you to wear? Is it safe for you to wear? Is it safe for me to see you wearing this, or is it safe? Like, is it safe for us? Is your outfit safe for us, not just you? Because moment. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that's it. I was gonna say the same thing 3 different ways.
Transparent moment. Just the other day, me and Jay were pulling up to the gym, and I told you about this at the gym. We were pulling up to the gym, and this guy sitting there blocking traffic, wouldn't move, hardly any parking. So I'm honking, and the guy behind him is honking, like asking to move. He don't want to move. So I rolled down my window. We exchanged some not so friendly words, but in a nutshell, move out of the way. You blocking traffic. I go on about my night. We're still circling the parking lot. Donnie's already in the gym waiting on us, so we're trying to hurry up and park, get in the gym. We come back around, still looking for parking. And now he's out of his truck. I guess he's parked, walking to the gym, and he's looking around, trying to find me. So he's standing there. He sees my truck. We make eye contact, and he's standing there like with his hands up, like, "Get out of the car. What's the problem?" Just yelling. So I'm driving around the parking lot slow, yelling at him. And so I get to the point, and again, God is working on me and my temper. I get to the point, I put the car in park. Janae grabs my arm, not to get out of the car. And that was the first the first sign of, I guess, neglect of my partner and her well-being.
Wow.
It was completely selfish. It was completely, the man could have had a gun. The man could have came up, shot me, shot her, just shot up the truck. Complete neglect of my partner. Got out. Me and him had interactions, had words, got back in the car park, went in the gym, worked out, whatever. But in retrospect, that's just one of those things. That's what we're talking about, though. Like, you have to realize that your actions may not just put you in harm's way, but it may put the person that you love in harm's way. Because in that moment, it was selfish. Just like with your partner, I just don't want. With the pastor, I just don't want nobody to come in my office. That's probably all he was thinking. I don't want to be bothered. I need to decompress. Just don't let nobody else in. He never thought that. Oh shit! Wait a minute, my wife, or it may be an emergency. Or he didn't think about none of that. Just like in that moment, I'm not thinking about what if this guy, you know what I mean? But it's just so important to always keep that in the forefront of your mind.
Because the random things can happen, bro. My nephew got shot the other day. He went to go, he had his little brother in a car, and he went to go take the granddad something to the apartment complex. Granddad's only African-American man in that complex. Some Mexican dudes outside thought he was looking in his car. He was like, I'm not looking in your car. So him and his little brother get in the car, and the dude shoot the car up. And so the nephew's trying to get to the, drop his little brother off so he can get to the hospital and stuff like that. Of course, he's okay. A bullet went through, but nigga, you still got shot. You know what I'm saying to you? And it's wild out here. You think you about to go fist to cuff with somebody who planning to shoot you or is already unstable. You know what I'm saying to you? And it's just like this, the world that we live in. To care about someone is to want to protect them. And sometimes the best way you can protect them is making wiser decisions yourself.
Not even sometimes, all the time. Yeah, all the time. Being wise is always the best decision in any situation.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Last comment, TY said it's not fair and it makes it challenging. When my son's dad saw Triple D, he was intimidated and created issues, but I made sure to keep y'all separate to avoid conflict because his issue isn't fair to you. And if it's not fair to you, then it wasn't fair to our friendship, and it's just, man.
Yeah, I get it.
It's unfortunate, man. We'll probably continue this conversation.
Yeah.
Man. All right. Well, there we go. At the end of every episode, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to give you guys a resource. And again, it's the same resource every week. If anything we said on this show tonight may put you in a headspace, you want to talk to somebody, here's a number you can call, 988. It's a crisis hotline. You can see it says suicide, depression, and all that kind of stuff, but it's a crisis hotline. If there's anything that you want to discuss with somebody, you can get connected to a support group, mental health professional that can talk you through some things. If it's relational or if it's on an identity level, if you're struggling with self-esteem, if you're trying to find better ways to, raise your children, like all of it. Call 988, or you can go online and chat with someone live. They're good at following up. A few people from our podcast have reached out to this number. It's a real resource and it does work. If you know anybody who's struggling with just trauma, maybe from the fires that have just popped off in LA, because traumatic situations like this can weigh heavy on a marriage or a relationship or anything. Like, this is a number to call to get connected to any kind of resource concerning any kind of personal crisis you're going through. So yeah, we like to lead at the end of every podcast. Take a screenshot of it, share it with your friends. Yeah. And again, especially for if you know anyone who may be struggling now that their relationship has to encounter something like the loss of a home or a loss of, this fire. So maybe something happened to someone in their family. Like, if you need support, that's a great resource to reach out to get the help you need. Anything else, Mike?
No, you got it. You could
for sure
pray us out.
All right. Father God, we thank you so much for this podcast tonight. As we continue to try to create an environment to give people a place to come and just hear men being vulnerable and maybe take a valuable nugget from it. We thank you that no coincidences happened tonight. Everybody that heard what they heard needed to hear what they heard. May they take it back to you and sit with it and get the revelation that they need to enhance their personal life, their romantic life, their family life, Father God, their friendships. Thank you for just depositing these things within us. Thank you for using all our situations, causing it all to work together for our good, being able to fill this podcast with content based on experiences that we've had, some that we didn't want to have, but now we see an opportunity to use them as a point of wisdom for other people. We pray for everyone, Father God, who's been impacted by these fires, whether they lost a house or they know someone who has. Father God, I pray, Lord, that if anything rises up in LA, Father God, it is the generosity in our hearts to lend a helping hand, to lend a helping resource to those who are without right now. Father God, may we bind together. May we not operate in the spirit of greed or selfishness, Father God, but may we be willing to share and to look to the needs of others, because that could be us, Father God. So we just thank you for all that you're doing right now. Help us to be a part of the solution. When people are having conversations, Father God, that turn into gossip, turn into criticism, Father God, may we be peacemakers. May we be people solution minded, Father God. May we show grace and continue to be the light in these situations, in these times, Father God, where a lot of negativity could be coming up. May we speak your word, that people may be encouraged in these times, Father God, not fearful. We thank you for trusting us with this podcast. Continue to show us the way to go with it. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
All right, bro. Is that it for us, ladies and gentlemen?
So
we thank you so much for all your comments, for all your participation. Until next Sunday.
2 Chainz.